Well, good morning to you. I'm meteorologist David Neal. We are watching the weather moving once again across the United States here from west to east, mostly in the southern portions of the United States here. At the moment, it's been a busy morning already. In fact, I don't really know when the stuff quit during the overnight hours last night. I kept getting tornado warnings off and on through the night and into the early part of this morning when we still had some tornado warnings that were popping up from time to time. I have yet to hear about anything as far as a significant tornado goes in the past few hours. I know we've had our fair share of tornadoes throughout the past few hours, but at this point, as far as anything significant, not exactly sure that we've had a whole lot with that, but we have a network of folks who are out about who are going to be giving us more information as we go along through the rest of this afternoon, and we're going to do our best to give you all the latest information. We do have a tornado watch that is in effect right now across the region. This is going to be a tornado watch that is still here. And this was the region that we were talking about last night that had the potential for producing strong to severe thunderstorms through the overnight hours. That was due to the fact that we had enough lift there and what was left over from the day yesterday with a boundary that moved on through to produce that. And there's your tornado watch. Goes all the way up to just south of Nashville, Tennessee, where we do have a little severe thunderstorm warning off to the east of there, then down through northern Alabama into the western sections of Alabama, all the way into Mississippi and into the southern sections of Louisiana, if you will. Right now, latest on this watch is it is in effect until 5 o'clock this afternoon. It'll be moved on to the east as we go through time. Few tornadoes are likely here. A couple of intense tornadoes are possible with damaging winds likely as well in the 75 to 85 mile per hour range. That's also a possibility with a line of showers and storms that'll move west to east across the map, end up over to eastern Alabama as we go through the rest of the day today, and then make its way over into Georgia, but in a totally different atmosphere over there in Georgia. The lone tornado warning that we do have down to the south, you can see that there too. Just to the west of Montgomery is a tornado warned storm. This is the one we've been watching here, or I have been. Solo watching here. Goes for 19 more minutes. That's Hale and Perry counties. That's down there in Catfish Country. Catfish ponds, plenty of them there on Highway 5 as you go through Hale and Perry County on both sides of the road. This is going to go until noon now, where we have the greatest likelihood of seeing some of these that would rotate through the remainder of the day today. And that's been one of our big concerns, is how much rotation will we have going on with these showers and thunderstorms through the day today. And the short-term answer is enough to kick off tornado warnings. And we can see those out and about there across this area. Now, they've been more numerous through mid-morning here. They were more numerous. There is your west to east movement to the whole situation here. The polygon is there. That includes Marion, the boys' school over there. Highway 5 is what we're looking at, going down to the south or over to Greensboro into the New Bern area there too. But inbound and outbound markers, yes, we have them right about there with a lightning, an area of decay that began, but now it's on the increase. And there is your inbound and your outbound. We're getting closer and closer to the radar now out of Alabama, out of central Alabama. That'll help us out with some of this as well as we get into the rest of this afternoon, too. In fact, let's go and look at BMX here. We'll have a much closer look at what's happening. And there's your little area there where we have 2 or 3 different places across the map that look to have some inbound and outbound. The Greensboro area there, New Bern, or all the way down here to Fawnsdale on the southwestern side of Marion County. Uniontown, you come back out of Demopolis through there, and that's what we're looking at here, basically, is in this area south and west of New Bern. So, going to be watching all of these areas going into the, and again, it's almost somewhat ridiculous because and it's nobody's fault. I mean, these tornadoes, you can't tell them where to go, where to pop up. They're going to pop up within the actual box or polygon. It's almost like they're defiant when it comes to that. But right there along and to the south of the actual boundary that shows up. So that's going to be our first little area there that we will be looking at. Manpad's with us this afternoon trying to help us out with some of the information that we're getting. Always a pleasure to have you on. Bogalusa, we got a little thunderstorm down there too. Bogalusa, this is going to be for the next 17 minutes. You have a strong thunderstorm there that'll impact portions of western Washington Parish in southeastern Louisiana. That's going to go through noontime. Doppler radar indicating a strong thunderstorm just a few miles south of Baxterville. 10 miles to the east of Sandy Hook, and moving to the northeast at about 25 to 30, some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds already ejecting outward and eastward with that. as it comes and moves across the rest of this region. Reflectivity shows some heavier rainfall too. That's going to be one of the things, folks, that we'll be talking about for a while, is how much rain is going to fall across these areas, because it looks like it's going to be mucho. I think there's going to be some 5 and 6 inch totals here over the next 24 hours before we get done with this, and that's going to be quite cumbersome here. If you live in the state of Alabama, where we just haven't had a whole lot of precipitation over the past few weeks, so slippery driving conditions probably there. Some of the heaviest rain of the moment, too, is showing up here in northwestern sections of our state of Alabama, from Tuscumbia southward. This is in and along basically Highway 278 that goes west-east over to Columbus, coming out of Coleman County, and then all the way down to the south into Hamilton, Haleyville, Winfield, Alabama, in Marion County. Winfield, Alabama, that's another place that right now we got thunderstorms that are barreling on down the road here, coming out of Ewan and Brilliant and moving southeastward. This is along I-22, coming out of the old 78, Highway 78 region and into Carbon Hill over to Walker County from the southern side. In Fayette County here, we got showers, thunderstorms coming out of Berry, moving over to Reform on the eastern side of Lamar and Pickens County. Reform there down to Carrollton and Aliceville, the county seat. And again, within the tornado watch box area, Huntsville to Florence, and then on to the south, down to Linden, and through the rest of that area out of Meridianville. Still looking at some of that, too, that we have been talking about for a while now. Now, let's take a look at some of the parameters here, if you will. Well, let me quickly go up here, because we do want to take a look at what's happening just to the east of Nashville. We'll put the Nashville radar OHX there. That's on the river. You can see it's a conglomeration, a line of showers and thunderstorms making their way eastward through this region. For the next 30 minutes, there is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for southwestern Cumberland County into Middle Tennessee, largest county there up into Tennessee, DeKalb. Also Van Buren, Warren, and White Putnam and Cannon counties. You're all underneath a severe thunderstorm warning. They just went ahead and loaded that up so they didn't have to keep doing them over and over again. So these are now severe thunderstorm warnings. That includes the Cookville area over near the Playhouse, back over to Centertown into the Hamptons Crossroads region, Baker Crossroads. Got a lot of crossroads here up into Tennessee. Wonder how that happened. The settlers come in and go, hey, got a road over here to the left, road over here to the right, and one in front of us. I think we're going to call this my crossroad. Probably the way it happened. I don't know. In my mind, that's the way it happened, so I'm going to go with it. So the rest of the area, we are tornado-less. We don't have anything going on there within our polygon, but there has been some discussion that they'd be moving that polygon along as we go through and into the next several hours. Now, let's talk about this, too, because this has been the actual region that we were looking at with the divergence that's been going on and the convergence beyond that. The jet is fostering a robust moisture and instability transport system from the south to the north. You are looking at really Jackson, Mississippi there actually, and the area shaded is going to be the little kidney bean area there that goes over to Birmingham and down to the south, and that's for the greatest threat for repetitive off and on training echoes that will be coming up. That'll be a big deal as we go through and into the rest of this afternoon, especially if we get these hours and hours and hours of repeated precipitation at a half inch per hour. Big problems there. There's your cold front, the blue line back to the west. That'll be moving on eastward as we go through the remainder of the day today, but not at a fast pace at all. So don't look for things to happen very quickly here, at least into the short term as far as the rainfall goes, because flash flooding is still going to be imminent in some of these isolated areas, maybe even the bigger threat than a possible tornado. I think the tornado threat is still there, but if you look at the total rainfall, and here's what is suggested by one of the computer models, I think this is going to be the HER suggesting well over 2 to 3 inches of rain, especially up into the Tennessee Valley here. We'll be looking at some of the heavier totals, well over 2.5. You can see as we move through and into the day tomorrow too. So 2.5 to 3 is quite possible across both of these areas. A little dry slot down to the south there. That's because of the placement of the lows. It works its way on to the north. And there is your tornado watch This is going to be likely through the rest of the afternoon with a few isolated tornadoes. Some quarter-size hail is possible and scattered gusts over 70 to 75 miles per hour possible here too. About 5 million people involved within the shaded yellow areas here, and that's going to be quite a few. And that runs roughly from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, back over to Hattiesburg, Meridian, up into Tuscaloosa, Coleman, Huntsville, Alabama is included. But as far to the east as Crossville, Tennessee, and as far to the west as Nashville, Tennessee, still included in that mess too. Coming in from west to east and going all the way down to the southwestern sections of the state of Alabama, too. That'll probably be pushed as we go through the remainder of the day, west to east. I'm sure it will be, by the way, as the line of thunderstorms goes through. And it's a very complex situation that's about to take place. What are the possibilities? Well, zip right through that, but tornadoes, a few of those tornadoes may be large. That's some of the wording that was taking place. Winds scattered up to 75 miles per hour. Some of these isolated storms that will be going by, and quarter-size hail is possible too. But there's where it lies from I-10 to I-55 going northward over to Jackson, 20 as well, as we're looking at everything there up into Huntsville, Columbia, and Crossville. Still got plenty of it going on there in the eastern sections of Tennessee as we go through the remainder of the afternoon, too. So certainly we'll be looking at that. Now, where does it originate, and what's going on with the big picture? Because maybe you have heard about the rivers of atmosphere that will be moving into the Pacific West as we go along through the rest of this evening and over the next really 10 to 14 days, it's possible. And so watch the trajectory of the stream that's coming in. Now, this is in an infrared sandwich shot, which just tells us that we've got colder cloud tops, indicating we have thunderstorms that are beginning to build. The colder the cloud top, the higher the thunderstorm that's likely building across the region. And there's a couple of low pressures that'll be moving in. Water vapor image now for the deep south. This is pretty ominous looking, too. Now, we're looking into Texas. This is Louisiana. Brighter colors here indicating, again, thunderstorms. And these will be coming across 55 into the western side of Tennessee. Down to the south here, got a couple of thunderstorms there that are building as well, so they'll keep moving on eastward into southwestern Alabama, which is the trajectory and the thing we already knew, with a little dry slot trying to sneak in there for a little while, but already some moisture on the back side of that, on the back of our actual cool front. And I think the cool front is just now crossing over and into Louisiana from the western side, the actual frontal boundary that'll be lifting everything. Now, you also look at what's going on with our vectors here. Wind vectors down at the surface are showing up. They're coming around a big high-pressure system that's sitting out over the eastern sections of the Atlantic seaboard, but that's just driving in a westerly wind for the rest of us and keeping our atmosphere very, very volatile. My grandmother used to say you hit a cloud with a stick and it's probably going to rain. It's that sort of situation where everything is very, very saturated into the atmosphere. The precipitable water, don't ask me to say that again, especially fast, is high. That water content is very high as we go along. And again, mid-level vapor imagery showing you tons of it coming in out of the Gulf of Mexico and headed where? Right here for the state of Alabama and beyond. And then wraps up into the low pressure that's ejecting northeastward through South Dakota and Nebraska, South Dakota, back into Iowa now. And there'll be some snow on the backside of that. Might even be some freezing rain. That's a whole different scenario going on up into the upper Ohio Valley, the Midwest there, where a lot of that is still going to be sticking it out, and you'll be sticking it out there, by the way. The 800 to 700 moisture flux, the anomalies are high here, 3 to 5 above the standard deviations there, above the mean jet, so it's very strong jet coming in from the southwest. Heads right over my head, by the way. I'm going to go out in just a little bit and look up, and if I do see the arrows, I'll take pictures and send them to you. I'll also make sure everybody gets to see those as they go on by. I shot pictures of the blue cold front going over a week and a half ago, so who knows, I might get lucky again. But right now, as we look at it, the surface map, this is as of an hour ago. If you don't know how to read these, we'll just do a quick little summary now. Each of the little wind barbs there that you see is pointing in the direction of the surface wind. So it's all coming in. The surface wind is coming in from the south. These are southerlies that are moving to the north. The circle in the middle there is telling us just how much moisture that we actually have, cloud cover that we actually have into the region. So as a result of that, there's going to be partly cloudy sky even beginning to show up there. It looks like just to the northeast of Itawamba. And then you get even further to the north near Tishomingo County there. We got a couple of areas of broken cloud cover, but temps are into the 70s. Like this one area here, we got 70 degrees over 68. That's your dew point temperature now. It's 68. The Boulder numbers here, the 096, that's 1,009.6 millibars. 1,013.6 millibars showing up. So just so you can see, we're talking about a lot of moisture. Now we're looking at 66 to 68 for dew point conditions that go and run all the way up through Alabama, through central Alabama. The 64 there is in Muscle Shoals, where they have the swampers. And then down to the south, we got more going on for Montgomery. Look at these 70-degree dew points that are showing up near Selma, Alabama. That's just outside of Perry County. So here's your surface map. This was hand drawn, not by me, but I think from somebody there with the National Weather Service. I'm pretty sure Brett didn't draw this. I think he told me if he authored that. Low pressure down into the Gulf of Mexico, working its way northward, though. That's one of the reasons that everything is being held up. Low pressure that has to come up the line here in the next few hours will do that. And this is a new meso discussion coming out from the National Weather Service again. And this is sort of the story being told. See that on the right-hand side? See that negative 14C? That's cold. We're looking at 500 millibar temperatures, half the atmosphere. There's a negative 14C above eastern sections of the state of Alabama, Georgia. That's some cold air aloft. Well, that'll trigger thunderstorms pretty easily. The colder it is aloft, the easier it is to kick off thunderstorms. The warm, moist air down at the surface can rise more rapidly the colder it is up into the upper atmosphere. See that 500 kg, 500 joules per kilogram. That is an instability factor there that we're looking at, and 500 is, thousands when we really start to get worried, but there's some evidence, and you'll see that reflected in our data here in just a few moments, of even higher instability factors. The Cape is what we'll be talking about there when we come to that. But the tornado threat will continue through the rest of this evening. Yes, likely be needed east and downstream as we move into the rest of this afternoon and evening. We're just now approaching the noon hour Central Time at 11:54. So, the day has yet to mature. Dew point conditions. These are some of the dew points just last hour, and then the forecast. Look at the 60s here across middle sections of Alabama. Back over to Mississippi, we got some 60s and up into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees across the state of Louisiana. Now, the low pressure itself has picked up and moved away. It's further to the north at this point than it was yesterday. So spin, the rotation factor here, as far as what's happening with the low pressure and how involved that is, that's beginning to move away a little bit. But we still have enough, especially to the eastern side, to get a shear value that's high enough to kick off a tornado, to start the rotation to begin there, and then have it be a continuation. So over the next few hours, we're still picking up moisture to the north. Watch the high 60s as far as dew point conditions go. They just keep gathering there across the rest of the southeastern United States. And we get into the overnight hour. This is at 6 o'clock tonight, actually, hour 12 at 0Z, and all the way up to 06, which is midnight. Now we're talking about Cape. This is a little bit different. This is Cape as far as the HRR model, the HER model goes. And the yellows will indicate 2,000 joules per kilogram. And that's when you, again, sort of the threshold this time of the year that I really look to see, how high this is. And look, there's almost some 3,000 levels there back into Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and the rest of the region, too, over the next few hours. That all slides on to the east. Doesn't get much further than Birmingham, and then moves over into the state of Georgia. And beyond. One of the other products we sometimes look at, so many of them out there, but one of the ones I look at is called SIGTOR, which is the significant tornado threat of an F2 or above. And there's still that threat going into this evening. Now, I know it says Wednesday 04, but that's actually tonight. That'd be tonight at 10 o'clock. So there's still the likelihood or possibility of seeing some higher numbers there with the SIGTOR all the way up into the midnight hour tonight of 2 or 3. And it's a very non-committal, if you will, many of my ex-girlfriends. It's a very non-committal sort of a situation here where, 1 foot in, 1 foot out on this whole forecast deal, because one model says one thing, the other one not so much, and so there's a lot of discrepancy going on with the computer modeling at this point. So that's where we stand with that at the moment, and where that is going, and where we think we're going to end up with that situation as we continue on. This tornado warning, I think it's about to expire. It went, it had 3 more minutes on it. This is the one for Demopolis that goes all the way up to the north there, and includes the area just to the south of Bibb County there. It looks like we're looking just along Highway 5 on the eastern side, Demopolis down to the south, and the river there that we have as well, that we are kind of looking at and putting into motion here as everything does make its way further and further. And I think right now we have Dean with us. Dean was with us during the day yesterday. Dean, can you hear me? Can you expound on something that I've said here? I know you've been watching the safety factor here quite a bit, as what we've been talking about with people, and I don't think anybody's been caught off guard here, but as always, we're always kind of looking to see what the viability might be, and whether or not we're going to see anything that could sneak up on somebody. I don't think that is going to be the case. I don't really. Let's see. Speak to me here, Dean. Let me see if I got your audio here.
There we are.
There you are.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Wow, you look good. I don't know if you can see my monitor, but you look good. I think you look good on YouTube. Let me just go over there and look, and I'll confirm your wow. Yeah, you're on YouTube, and it looks good.
Thank you. Well, it's kind of one of those things. Kind of become the channel safety evangelist already, but we urge people to always kind of look over your shoulder on these days. Now, I think that the threat has been communicated very clearly. I think that the messaging ahead of this system has been very good on behalf of the NWS and their partners, the emergency management community. And I've noticed that the southern United States realistically does have some of the best emergency management that I've seen. That critical messaging is very important, and we just want people to stay aware of what's going on. Of course, you have your safe place in your house. Many people are aware of that. I'm not sure if there's anyone who's not aware of that, but we will reiterate that. Have a safe place in your home, interior room, far away from the outside walls. But today too, I believe that additional rainfall may be an issue. We may see localized flooding. And once again, if you're out driving in a car, don't drive into that. Not too long ago, we saw a video of a gentleman with a work van, looked like a contractor, headed to a site and just decided to ford basically a river. It turned into a boat within about 10 seconds. Don't do that. Don't do any of that. As a matter of fact, on days like today, I prefer to tell people just stay home. If there's flooding, you're going to be stuck out. If there is a tornado nearby your area, this is the Deep South. Your view is going to be limited greatly by trees. There's not, in many of these areas, it's very sparsely populated, very rural areas, and you're not going to have that many buildings to go to take shelter. And there is no safe place in a car near a tornado unless you're a pro. So that's just encouraging people to keep themselves safe there.
Yeah, and I realizing the fact that some people have to travel, so it's not a blanket sort of a statement there. If you have to travel, we certainly understand that. But if you can possibly delay, maybe if like this big line that we got right now, Dean, it's off to, let's see, screen right. Actually, the big line that's coming through now, about to move across Murfreesboro into Cookeville. I'll put that into motion for you to show you as it comes in. It's moving on to the east pretty rapidly now, but there's a distinct line of very heavy precipitation coming with that, often on thunderstorms too, and there's bound to be some higher winds. In fact, they do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for McMinnville. That's over into Cumberland County in Tennessee, near Cookeville, and the National Weather Service did go ahead and issue a severe thunderstorm warning for Cumberland, DeKalb, Putnam, Also, Van Buren, Warren, and White counties, you're underneath severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly due to the fact that we've got some winds reaching up to 55 to 60 miles per hour and a forward movement now of 55 miles per hour. So you can actually add some of that momentum to the speed. You might have some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. If you're driving a high-profile vehicle, that's going to be a pretty bad deal there. So just add some extra driving time, or as we were just talking about, and Dean says you might just let this one go on by, because behind that we don't have a whole lot more precipitation to deal with there up into Tennessee with the stuff going on near Nashville and beyond. I know they had some rough weather up there. Dean, the other part of this that we're looking at has also been a tremendous amount of rain. I mean, some of these rainfall totals have gotten on up there. Let me see what we've got here. We can look at some of the radar estimates. These are put down by the radar. When the radar is, just to explain the product here, when the radar is, it's a program, it's an algorithm that's running, so the radar takes a lot of the data, and as it gets it back, it decides whether or not, first of all, that this is going to be a liquid coming back, or could it be some form of ice? Is it going to be hail? Hail contamination in your some of your imagery there is mostly obvious. This is not an obvious hail-contaminated image, and 2.5 to 3 inches that has fallen over the last 12 hours seems to be pretty close to, I think, reality. And that goes all the way over to Nashville and beyond. I was just in that area, too. Now, this is where it was so cold. There was snow on the ground just a week ago up here, where it's into the 70s now. So somewhat of a saturated ground there already, and there may be some off and on areas of localized flooding. And just to get this out there as well, special weather statement now going to be for Lawrence, Limestone, Madison, and Morgan counties, which is in and around Huntsville there on the western side near Decatur. That's going to be for again, a thunderstorm. I don't think we have rotation here just yet, but we'll look at it. Why don't we just look at it here and see what we've got. Now, they did just issue a new tornado warning. This is a brand new tornado warning down to the south, Centerville, Brent. So that's going to be back over into the central part of the county where we do have a brand new tornado warning, and I'll get that to you here within the next few seconds. It just popped up just moments ago. Let me see if I've got it here on the actual radar. Don't have it yet, but it's going to be because of something down to the south here. And as I put the radar on BMX, they're going to say right there, that's going to be a tornado warning in just a moment or two, I feel certain. And Dean, that looks, that's kind of textbook for the way they look on the radar imagery.
It does. It appears that way. Taking a pause back to the flooding scenario that we were just referring to, that triangle there from Huntsville to Nashville to Chattanooga and back, that is an area where, if my memory serves me correctly, in the past year's worth of days, they've had more than enough flooding in that area. So I'm sure that there's people there that definitely don't want to see this coming through. Just once again, urging everybody, stay out of that water. Plus, you never know what's in that water. So, don't go wading around. These tornado warnings now are these likely tornadoes, and I believe the box just popped up for you there, did it not?
It did indeed.
Okay. Yeah, then these warnings will be going out in these lines. It's going to be spurious throughout the day, and of course, anytime you have these type of linear storms, are going to wind up throwing these fast and furiously.
Yeah, so here's your warning. This is the brand new tornado warning that was just issued moments ago. We have 38 more minutes on this tornado warning for Bibb and Perry counties. You underneath the tornado warning down here in central Alabama. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located just about near Marion, near the boys' school there. Moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Highway 5 that goes north-south through there, if you could allow this to go on by. But that is a likely tornado. We have very strong gate-to-gate shear going on. I say that in the next frame. Not so strong gate-to-gate shear, but enough to where we still have a tornado warning system here. If we look at what's going on with correlation coefficient, a little bit. This looks more like a little bit of a hail scenario at the moment that the hail is being picked up by the radar beam. But this is, again, our what we refer to as correlation coefficient. I like to call it the debris signature map. Because that's pretty much what it does, what its main deal is all about. And what you basically see from the radar here in actuality is it is producing a where did I go? Wow, I just flew all the way to another part of town. It was time travel at its finest. Let's go back to this in the Birmingham radar. Come on now. There we go. So, yeah, again, two of the things that we're looking at is one is whether or not you have any kind of movement with the object. Now, this is not an anomaly. This is all just the same kind of stuff that's coming down from the sky. So we recognize all this stuff as just rain. It's in this area right here where we get a little bit of an idea that we have something going on. And I think that's going to be the case here, is that there's something going on there with the debris signature. Now, what is that? Did that move, by the way? And I wasn't really watching to see if that actually... See, that's actual debris right there, Dino, if you see that. But there's debris.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a CC drop there.
Yeah. So, not exactly does it phase up. It does. So it's right there in the area. So now this is going to be confirmed tornado warning now. This would come in as, the next time they write this is going to be written as a confirmed tornado radar confirmed. Because just in that, really that one scan right there is where this basically happened here. CC correlation coefficient. And that's pretty ugly actually. So we'll be watching out for that. The area this is in is rural, unbelievably rural, just outside of Greene County, actually. Greene's to the west. But nonetheless, this is going to be our new tornado warning. Let me see what else I can find out here real quick. That was damaging tornado. So... on this trajectory, by the way, you're on a trajectory, and I mean, at this point, it's pretty easy to see. You're on a line that's headed toward Birmingham. So I know there's already some concern about this because of that trajectory. And now they just reissued this a little bit further to the north. I think this is going to be a little further north of a turn here. And right now, that's 35 more minutes on that tornado warning. It's Bibb and Perry counties. You're underneath the tornado warning at the moment. So we will continue to watch that as we do move along, and in the area here too. Now, I see, hold on for a sec. I believe I got Brett up here at the moment, and we'll effort at least his camera and see if we can get some more here. Dean, if you want to talk for a second about anything, let me add Brett over here so we can watch his cam.
Excellent, David. Well, we of course are still watching these storms through the region for you here on Live Storms Media in live real time. Now, there also is waiting in the deck. I don't know if you see the stream camera from Chris Jackson, Live Storm Media's Chris Jackson, who be in the area, I believe, of this warning, trying to find his location right now.
I can hear you. All right. Let me get you put in here real quick, Chris. Past.
That is an excellent view there.
Oh yeah, there's a big inflow tail right there, spinning right above my head. It's gonna do it. It's gonna do it right here.
It's Birmingham, Alabama. So it's still about, I'd say that's about 20, 25 miles to the southwest, heading northeast.
Right and left. Yeah, the right and left motion going across the road right here.
All right, Chris. I think we have your audio here as well.
Right here. Hold on 1 second. What are you? There ain't nobody behind me here, so let's see what we got. All right, here we go.
So tell me a little bit about you're on the south side of this the second tornado warning, the one that's
Yeah,
further south.
yeah, David. The second one that's right in Uniontown. I'm sitting on Highway 80 right here. What's
All
the
right.
name of this bill or this company? It's Alabama Catfish Feed Mill.
I mentioned a little earlier that you'd be driving by some catfish ponds. It's
Gotta look at it. You got right. I got left to right moving rain curtains and right to left moving clouds.
let's see now. Ooh, it's raining, isn't
Yeah. Yeah. Have to move down and get up to the north. That's pretty impressive. All right. Yeah, I'm planning on staying with the storm all the way up through what is this? Perry County, Marion County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me flick this off here for 1 sec, and then I'm going to add the radar on here at the same time so we can watch you and the radar.
Highway 183 out of Uniontown.
Been quite a bit of rain there, Chris, and I know you've been driving from all the way over from South Carolina, actually in this direction during the day today, and just now getting into some of the regions where the rain has been at its heaviest. Is so far, have you seen any problems? I mean, it looks pretty wet right there, but it's also raining pretty hard at the moment.
Yeah, the only problem I see was on the US 80. Just a couple little storms I had to go through to get here. And just from the rainfall rates, some minor ponding on the road, especially in the areas where there's not a lot of elevation, the road was rather flat.
All right, so to get you up to date on where we are here at the moment, we're talking with Chris Jackson here. He is out and about following the storms this afternoon, so we're going to be telling you more and more about that as we move along through the next 24 hours. We're looking at a front that's going to be passing on through here, so we've got quite a bit to go until we get to the other side of this, and we will be there during the day. Tomorrow we'll start to see much better weather, by the way. Brand new tornado warning. I think they push this a little bit. Let me see. We'll check on that in just a couple of seconds here. Here's the warned area. Again, this is brand new, the new tornado warning. As you can see it here, this is going to include Hellberger and go all the way up to Randolph now. This is going to include Randolph there in the northern part of Mid County. West east, that's 82 on the south side, over to Centerville, Brent, into that area. But coming out of Marion, Highway 5, that is the where the boys' school is there. But Hellberger and then northward over to Randolph, you're included now in the tornado watch box, the warning box, the polygon there. It's not actually within the rest of the region, but nonetheless, that's what we're looking at there, as well as Chris Jackson. We're following his lead here and looking at his video coming in as he is moving along the highway system here, just outside of, if you will, just outside of Linden, actually. Uniontown's where he was a few moments ago, but moving northward up through the rest of the area. And a lot of this activity is going to continue to be moving northward and eastward, going through the rest of this afternoon. And that's what we're going to be doing now. Marion County, Uniontown, underneath the tornado warning till 12:45 this afternoon. That tornado warning will continue to go through the remainder of this afternoon, evening, actually. But we're looking at Marion, Uniontown, and one of my favorite places in the world is Sprott, Alabama, there, just to the south of Hellberger. And that is going to be one of those places where we have very heavy rainfall. Now, these storms are moving at about 50 to 55 miles per hour off to the northeast, so they got plenty of juice with them coming in from the south to the north. And now you can also see they're becoming more numerous. Now, there's a cellular look to everything that's going on here, but they're really becoming more and more numerous now. Down from the south, we're seeing new growth coming in from really Atmore, Monroeville, all the way through southern Alabama and the rest of the region here that we'll be looking at and, kind of following that whole situation going into the rest of this afternoon. Right now, there's your tornado warning, your box. The watch box that we were talking about is just to the west of there, but the warning box, the polygon, is right there near Heilberger, over to Sprott, Marion, and then all points down to the south. There are 2 polygons there, but nonetheless, one has now overwritten the other because of our forward motion and where placement is going to be as we move along into the next several hours. Again, Chris is going to be off and on in some, problem areas as far as cell service goes, so we may go like that image right there when we go back and forth with his imagery, actually, which kind of just went dark on us there. But nonetheless, we're still looking at the likelihood, the availability of these showers and thunderstorms to move on through fairly rapidly. And just to show you, there is an end to this mess. You go back and we'll look at the Mississippi River cam here. This is the bridge view at Vicksburg, where it is 73 degrees coming down the Mississippi River. Actually got a little bit of water now into the Mississippi River coming across the bridge there. And things are beginning to look just a little bit better overall in that whole situation. And we just be following this for the rest of this afternoon to see new development. What's going to happen? Is it going to blow here across the state of Alabama? We're going to have big storms all the way up into Tennessee, as far to the north of Nashville. What's going to happen with this atmosphere for today? It was kind of messed up during the day yesterday. The computer modeling for the day today is equally as difficult. I don't see, been doing this for quite a while. I don't see anything that looks clear, really clear-cut, Dean. This is all sort of a messy situation here. It's not like we have a true bona fide cold front that we can point to and say that's going to be the last of it. We actually have a merger here, really, of one boundary coming into another, as you can see. That's the stuff that was hanging back. That's the boundary stuff from yesterday beginning to merge now with some of the warm front that's coming out of the Gulf of Mexico and coming on northward here on the northern fringes of that watch box, and still creating some problems. So we do have little areas, too, that we were talking about here off to the north on the border. This is going to be for Jackson County, Alabama, and that's going to be a little special weather statement, excess of 40, 7 miles to the southwest of Huntsville, and you got Hartselle on down to the south, then our little merger going on, and back into our 2 tornado warnings. Now, socially, Dean, I know you're not exactly all over that at this moment. We're, and I haven't talked to our buddy Jarvis. I'm not sure if that's him online over there, but is there anything socially? You there? Okay. I think we can hear you. I can hear you in my ear. Jarvis, have you heard? I mean, I'm not going to be able to throw your picture up just yet, but have you heard anything? You got anything from any confirmation-wise maybe during the day today? Set aside everything that happened yesterday. Is there any confirmed from the night? Because I know my weather radio, not my radio, but my iPad went off pretty much through the entire night. Is there anything out there that maybe we don't know about? Yep, all through the day into this evening, and goodness knows, we may be marathoning here for all I know. You just can't tell. It depends on how much information we've got, and so far we've had Chris here with us. I don't see him at the moment. I think he dropped out. His signal dropped out where we collect his signal, but yeah, I believe so. So anyway, let's...
And I was going to say, I've been keeping an eye on Twitter. I have yet to see a lot of information about this event coming out, but I did notice that right when you were showing that, those the boundary catching up, and just look at that coming together like a zipper on a coat, just right over that.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, the northern Alabama into
one of the
Tennessee.
questions I typically got when I'd speak to a school, I used to speak to a school a day basically, and children's minds were always about worst case scenario, and I'd always get the question about what happens if a tornado, a hurricane, and a tsunami all hit at the same time, which makes me think of this. You got two things coming together here, all hitting at the same time. Now, there's not a lot of fanfare there. In fact, we still don't have a warning here. We got a couple of weather advisories put out by the National Weather Service there in Huntsville, but we don't have a warning of any sort up in that general area, so nothing. The answer to that question is nothing. I used to say something under my breath, but I couldn't say it to the actual children. But not going to continue working in the capacity I was working at. But here's what we do have down to the south here, coming out of the box there. There's Marion back over to Brent, Centerville, Brent. Right now, tornado warning still in effect here across this area. That's going to be for the next 22 minutes. That includes Bibb and Perry counties. The National Weather Service out of Birmingham issued both of these warnings, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Coming into Heiberger here in the next little while here, coming out of Marion County. Bibb County, the town of Marion. That's Highway 5 that goes down to the south there through the central part of Bibb County, and then heads into Orville all the way down to Camden there along the Alabama River. And then to the north, that'll be coming into the south. If you're looking upstream, where's it going? Jemison, Calera. Somewhat in the path of this storm, whether or not it holds its characteristics here overall. The velocity data, again, doesn't have a really good couplet here. But the thing that you do see is so we got a couple of polygons. We also have a couple of spins. You still have a little bit of motion here, a little motion here, some inbound and outbound here, but this is more of indicative of a meso, of a broad area of rotation and not gate-to-gate shear like we saw a few moments ago. I can take this back to show you when they initially issued that tornado warning. It's pretty clear that this thing was rotating and spinning and probably on the ground right about here at this point, just to the northwest of Marion. Especially here, I think we certainly have a tornado there. And probably on the ground, because that's when we had our debris signature that was, the most solid there when that took place. So followed that pretty far off to the north. Sometimes they will cycle. See, I think that's a tornado for sure right there. A tornado that was probably even on the ground at that point. More than a funnel cloud, I would think. I think the structure is too good for that to just be a funnel cloud. But moreover, then things still continue to move on to the northeast. We've got a little rotation coming into West Blockton here. This is going to be on the western side of Shelby County here in the next few moments, but still northern Bibb. And a little bit of rotation, but that's all super broad at the moment, and doesn't really have a whole lot going for it. Now we got four little boxes up here that don't quite make the criteria to be severe thunderstorm warnings. The little storms that could, if you will. Or they wanted to. These are coming in from the Huntsville office, the National Weather Service here. That would be high top that we would see if I can find the radar here for high top. HTX. There you go. And a very distinct line here that's coming in out of Huntsville at the moment and moving on eastward. Wind shift for sure that is there, and it goes north-south. I don't see a single kink in it anywhere until you get way down here near Falkville, but that at the moment is the reason for those little weather advisories that are going off there, along with what's happening here into Brent and Marion and beyond all those places. So kind of where we are. You got anything else to add there, Dean?
Well, these tornado warnings today, as we've been seeing, just like yesterday, as a matter of fact, most of them have been eating at Taco Bell. They are definitely thinking outside the box. Now, the mesoscale discussion was issued by the Storm Prediction Center almost about an hour ago. They're showing their confidence remaining in keeping the tornado watch for now. That's the last I saw out of them for MDs.
Yeah. I think you got a little echo there. It might be me. Let's see. Let me get Chris back in here as well. Take a look at his. Okay. Let me get you. See your video every once in a while. It's a little frozen there for the moment. All right, let me round. We'll work on Chris's signal here for a second. Throw that back up in just a second and see what else we have here. Let me look at this. 3. That won't work, but will that? Probably not. The warnings that we still have, the warnings that are still in effect there across central Alabama are going to be, well, they just sent out a little update to this. It's just a continuation of the same warning, which says there remains a tornado warning there just to the south of Randolph, Bibb County, just to the south of Centerville, Brent. That's going to be a tornado warning there that we'll be looking at. Still has a few more minutes in that tornado warning. It goes all the way up until 12:45, so approximately 15 more minutes in the tornado warning as it goes there across that portion. Let's see now, Sprott. Is that a brand new tornado warning in Sprott? Get back to the radar and we'll see. I think they're just kind of reissuing on the same warnings here overall. I don't think any of this is actually new. So, warnings. Back over here to the warnings again. That's the 2 boxes, the 2 polygons that we have are still being affirmed as 2 tornado warnings, and they just kind of reissued those. Yeah, it's all a little convoluted here. There doesn't, it's not anything that I'd go, oh my gosh, take cover immediately because of what's happening here. But certainly, definitely needs to be watched in both of those areas because there is some rotation. The other place there's rotation that we're still following here as well, and this is a little odd looking. This is in the northern portions of Bibb County. About to come into southern Jefferson County. There is some lightning already associated with this too. This is just to the west of North Bibb and north of West Blockton. That'll be coming in here with some lightning now with it. This is not tightly, this is a mesocyclone. The whole thing is spinning, but you can notice there's a gap in between the pixelization there, which just tells me that there's not a complete gate-to-gate sort of a pixel-to-pixel sort of tornado there. It's not very tightly packed, but these things can rapidly change. And I'm sure all eyes are watching this closely coming into southern Jefferson County at the moment, just to the south of I-2059. And that's been there for a little while. We've been watching that there for a little while as it came across that area there too. And then down to the south we have some more swirling going on. This is a downburst coming into the storm. This is very likely going to be some 60 to 70 mile per hour winds there. You can see easily 60 mile per hour winds showing up on the radar here. But that is more of a downburst situation and not a surface swirl. This is a little bit of a, 2 places down here that seem to be spinning just a little bit more with what we do have. And then further down to the south, we're watching another little area here as well, just south of Selma, it looks like, along the Alabama River, again to the west of Gordonville and north of Camden, near Thomasville and Oak Hill, over to Pineapple. Know this area well down in here. This is hunting farms out here. A lot of hunting land out in this area here. Hunting camps, I guess is the word I'm trying to say, or words I'm trying to say. And all that heads northward there too. So, guys, if you get a confirmation, if you find something on social media or something that says we have a confirmation, just yell at me. I don't know if you can yell at me in my ear. Let me get this straight, in my ear, but Dean, I can see you. So if you've got something, just let me know. Do a little wave into the camera there and let me know. If not, I'm going to keep trucking here with what I do know. Still kind of hanging in that general area there where most of this is going to be off and on through the remainder of the day, making its way eastward. Now, if you look at it here at the moment, let's go to the high top radar and go eastward. We'll go from the north down to the south, and you can see Basically, what's happening here is a line that's jetting on to the east, coming from west to east. Over to Chattanooga now. We got Hamilton County underneath that little advisory there, too. It's Marion and Hamilton County, and then Bradley County into Tennessee. Jackson County, that's Madison and Jackson County, and then over to Arab, Alabama, and Albertville, right over there near the shrimp basket. That's where that's going to be happening, too. Coming out of Coleman County here, we've got winds that are gusting 40 to 45 miles per hour. Some of these are going to be moving through over the next 30 minutes, and by 1 o'clock we should be over in the I-59 region here also, as everything heads generally from the south and to the north. Back over to the Birmingham radar, BMX. Once again, we go southward. There's a lot of turbulence here. Now, look at these. I don't like the way these look, and I think this is about to, this kind of looks like to me, this is about to bust wide open here, because now we're really seeing the influence of the jet. I think the jet just got involved in all of this, and all these small little storms that we were looking at are now beginning to rotate very easily and quickly. By that, I want you to look now at the shape of what's taken place over the last few minutes with some of these storms. Obviously, down at the bottom, these are individual storms. Each one of these is a supercell, single cell. So it's about to be a fact, Jack, that all of this stuff is rotating. These are singular cells, and they're all sort of acting within themselves to do what they want to do. Now watch this one. Excuse me. This one, here's what's going on. Down at the surface, we've got winds coming in from the south a little bit here, a little bit west of a true south to north wind. So the storm begins to build and then rises rapidly here within our core, that is our hail core. So you got the everything going upward here, and then as you go in height, now we're beginning to see more of a westerly wind, and that's causing this to blow off to the right here, but still gives you a good indication of thermodynamically what's going on within the storm. Thermodynamically, we've got air that's rising pretty rapidly here, enough so to bring hail to a decent size here. So we have ascension of air, and then we have the spin, the rotation that's being created by the veering that's ongoing. So very mature storms down to the south here that are looking more and more ugly with time. This one looks like it has a little bit of a hook echo. Let me see if I can put some velocity data in there. It's not tight. It's not a really tight situation there just yet. The trajectory of the winds is kind of all over the place, but right in this area, peanut area here, if you will. These are 80-plus mile per hour winds right there, but more of a downburst region and not a collective inbound, outbound sort of a situation there either. And then just east of Marion, you still have plenty going on there too, but that is a situation where it's very broad. Over here near Selma, same, off and on. Pretty much what we got. And there's that spin I was talking about in North Bibb. I just don't like it at all. Don't like the way it looks here at the moment, and structurally a lot could go on there too. Let's see, give me one sec here. Once again, we're looking at, we're checking out what's happening here with our man who's out and about here, traveling down the road. And Chris Jackson is here underneath tremendous amounts of precipitation that is coming down here at the moment. Very heavy rainfall there just outside of Randolph in central Bibb County is where most of his video is coming from, but you can see, you can't really see your hand in front of your face there as precipitation is coming down very fast. I want to say fast and furious, but that would be too cliche. It's just coming down pretty quickly there across all of that area, and vehicles, you can see, traveling to and fro, adding a little extra time hopefully here, but Chris knows what he's doing. He's just running into a whole lot of rainfall there too. You go back to the north just a little bit. There's some other showers and thunderstorms here that we are checking out as well. Let's go north to south and come back down again, because we do in fact have more storms up to the north here that we'll be watching coming in to the eastern side of North Alabama. Some of these thunderstorms, they'll start to show up here just outside of Fort Payne, Alabama, the next hour or so. Look, I got a metal roof. This is going to be interesting when the stuff moves over me here just outside of Fort Payne. So we're probably looking at that coming in within the hour. This heavy line of showers and thunderstorms, quite a bit of lightning here. So these are thunderstorms that will be coming in pretty quickly. Moving down I-20. 59, excuse me, back over to Gadsden, Etowah County, into the Trustville, Birmingham region there, just outside of, 1 o'clock or so. That'll start to build. We still have our 2 very persistent tornado warnings south of there. These are going to be still in effect here for this portion of Bibb County and Perry County down to the south. Just outside of Merriam, we have the 2 tornado warnings for 7 more minutes there. The National Weather Service continues that tornado warning. Northeastern Bibb County and Perry County near the town of Marion. There's been some spin reported there. If you look at the radar imagery, the BMX radar sort of backs up all of that, but now new storms are forming here across this region, and this is going to be a little volatile area here as we go through and into the next several hours. This is going to be the possibility of kicking off some strong thunderstorms that would then continue to rotate and be problematic going into the next several hours. Watching Chris Jackson's video right now, he's got good imagery here. You can also tell he's got
good to be back.
Rain X on his windshield. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes, sir. Got you loud and clear.
So this, are you on 82?
Yeah, I'm back on Highway 80, heading back into Selma. Just looking at that storm just southeast of downtown Selma right now.
Okay.
Kind of kept my eyes on it. And for what it's worth, David, after I left you a while ago, lost service, I did see one building that had some tin ripped off of it, but it was a pretty old cinder block building. Looked like something you'd have a shop back in the old days.
Yeah.
With some tin that was ripped off the side of it.
Yeah. Yeah, let us know if you see anything like that. Actually, we'd love to pass that along if we get that kind of information. I still think that there's, I don't know exactly where you are at this moment, Chris, but I know you're probably close there into the area there, just within the polygon.
Yeah, according to my map here, I'm just south of it. I just got out of it, back on the Highway 80.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. You
Yeah,
see a long way out there, can't you?
Absolutely. My biggest thing was, getting up into the core of these storms. The precipitable water is so high today. Like, the water's just coming down in sheets.
Yeah.
And there's no way to stay with the storm once you start getting into the rainfall rates, like 1-2 inches an hour or more.
Right.
Yeah, just heading east back to Selma. Should be in downtown Selma here in about 10-15 minutes, hopefully.
Yeah, you see the storm down south of Selma. Are you going to be anywhere within that trajectory?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get. I was going to try to get it as it crosses Highway 80.
Now, we did just get a new tornado warning. This is going to be for Jemison. I'm going to put the warning on here with you, Chris, and we'll get right back to you here in just a couple of seconds. Brand new tornado warning just now issued. This one goes all the way up just to the north of Maplesville. It's going to include Jemison now, so we'll include Clanton. Chilton County actually will be included in this new tornado warning. It includes Jemison and I-65 just south of Calera. It's a tornado warning. Pea-size hail being indicated here as well with the storm, but the largest part of it's going to be right about here coming into Jemison. You'll see the box created in just a moment or two. I get the information before I get the actual box. Chris has some ugly clouds there, by the way. This is some of the dark lowering you can see out of his vehicle there as he's driving down the roadway again back towards Selma, which he's driving into a large storm that is showing up on radar just to the south of Selma. So we'll keep our eyes on that as well. But the new information coming in from a brand new tornado warning that crosses over the polygon, crosses over Randolph and Ashby and into the northern part of Chilton County. So it's northern Chilton County near Jemison, crosses over I-65 just to the south of Calera, but includes Thorsby and Montevallo. So not actually getting up to Montevallo. It's going to follow that border, the northern part, if you will, of Chilton County. And there it is. the new tornado warning just now coming in here. So that's going to be an addition or a forward motion, if you will, of the tornado that we're watching down there south of Brent. So now it includes the eastern side of Chilton County right through here. And this is I-65 there that comes southward out of Clear and goes southward towards Clanton and into Montgomery. That's I-65 here. So if you can allow that to go on by, that'd be great if you could do that. Why are they calling this a tornado? Well, let's just look and see if we can find out why. Velocity data still has inbound and outbound here, rather broad, but there is indication of a spin, a rotation that's occurring there just to the south of Brent, in between there and Maplesville. So that is headed eastward and doing so at about 30 miles per hour. They went ahead and err on the side of caution, as you should always do. Got a little flare up there too, just little flare ups here and there, nothing that solidifies to me there's actually a tornado for sure that is on the ground. We don't really have anything as far as any kind of data that says any differently there. Correlation coefficient, there's some hail markers there I see, but I don't see a debris marker showing up in any of this in particular. So not really a confirmation as far as that goes, the radar goes. At this point either. So still looking at all of this and watching what's happening here. Again, we're watching Chris Jackson. We're following him along the roadway here just outside of Selma, Alabama. He is efforting getting closer and closer to this storm. Actually, let me back up here a little bit and make that a larger radar graphic so you can get a better idea of what we're looking at here. This is what he's looking at as he's driving along, but he's in this area just to the north of Selma, coming into Selma on this side. If I can draw that, and he is headed for this storm, which has a little hook on it right there and does have some spin, some rotation associated with it in the velocity data. You can see it right there, kind of a small nugget. Some brand new lightning has popped up along this region too that just started to show a few moments ago. Let me see here. Gotta find a place to put this where it's not in your way. Getting a little lighter there, Chris, at the moment.
Oh yeah, starting to come out of that I guess that little multi-cell cluster south of those tornado polygons, and just getting into this little I guess nook in between the Selma storm and the ones that I just came out of.
Right.
Noticing how these storms are really transient in nature. It seems like they spin up and they'll spin right back down.
Yeah, I guess we often refer to these as wannabes. They're not really just they're not coming out and doing that minus 1, 2, 3. Another little spin, trying to pop up just south of that first one. Little gate-to-gate shear there on that. But I can see some clear sky above you there. It does look like a little bit of sunshine trying to poke out from time to time. Just off to your... You travel a little bit southeast, are you? At the moment?
East-southeast, yeah.
East-southeast, so... And you see a little bit of sun. If you're just now joining us, I'm meteorologist David Neal. We've got Dean with us today. We've got Jarvis with us today. And Chris Jackson is out and about riding around in his vehicle today to give us some information and some of what you might see if you're out on the roadway here. It's a rain event at the moment. Chris wouldn't be reporting to us if he was under duress or having trouble with the weather at this point, but we are sort of following him along as he goes from point A to point B to sort of keep us abreast of what's happening here across this portion of central Alabama. Not too far away from Montaukville, which you remember not long ago had a tornado move through there into Montgomery, crossing over I-65 a few months back. Now we have a couple of reasons for the likelihood of a tornado or two. We do have some damage here being reported. This is in our spotter network stuff. Tin roof torn off. Porches destroyed on County Road 29 near Marion. Did you do this? Is that from you, Chris?
No, I did not. I saw where that came from. It was about 3 miles to my north from where I was at.
All right. And then some cedar trees down across the road also in Marengo County on County 54. That, again, coming from the spotter network. So 2 damage areas there that we were looking at just now coming across. The lone tornado warning that we still have is the one included up here into Jemison. Bibb, Chilton counties, you're now underneath the tornado warning. This is going to last for another 47 minutes here in northern Chilton County, Bibb County, till 1:30 actually, near Centerville, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. I don't see an origination that really looks like it worries me at this point, but development is possible here for sure. And so the Weather Service went ahead and erred on the side of caution. That includes Jemison, northern Chilton County, Jemison, and just to the south of Calera, right there on Highway 31, over near my sister's drugstore there. By the way, if you drop in, say hello. Tell her Dave says hey. And then down to the south here, we've got other areas that are beginning to spin just a little bit here over toward Benton into the Selma area. And it's just it's a little bit crazy here at the moment. Nothing really looks like it wants to go ahead and do its thing and come down, which is good. Good news. We don't need a tornado today, that is for sure. We do have a risk. It is an enhanced risk on the scale. And the folks out of Norman, Oklahoma, they know what they're doing. They did a good job yesterday with what was reported there. And actually, we didn't have too much in the way. I know I saw some damage yesterday that looked pretty bad in a few isolated spots, but it wasn't a widespread event, really, at that point. Chris is frozen here for just a second. We'll back on out, and let's talk a little bit about some of the tangibles that we have been talking about through the day today. What's really going on here? Well, what's really going on is we still have all indications of a buoyancy area here that is beginning to retract just a little bit, but still the air aloft is cold. So the air down at the surface becomes very buoyant and rises rapidly. And with that, we're going to see maximums when it comes to a few things here. Precipitable water was one of the things Chris mentioned a few moments ago, which is how much water content that the actual volume or column of air is able to produce. Well, there's a ton of that out there right now, and some of this will be dropped. I mean, we'll be looking at the possibility of 2 to 3 inches of rainfall showing up there across northern Mississippi into the Tennessee Valley of North Alabama or southern Tennessee. Tornado watch continues into the rest of this evening. This is going to be a tornado watch here that will last till 5 o'clock this evening, which will also be bent and twirled and change through the day today as it moves further and further to the east, but right now includes I-20 down to the south, I-10, Baton Rouge 55 just to the west of Hattiesburg, over to Tuscaloosa, Coleman, Huntsville, Columbia, and Crossville and Nashville, where we still have some more there that we'll be looking at as well from both of those situations as we go a little bit further off to the north. Now, Chris's image is looking pretty hot again. Get back to that.
Hear me or not?
I do.
I saw in our internal little chat we got going here something maybe Reed Timmer has got a hell core, and just looking by my camera shot, I tend to think he might have one.
Yeah. Yeah, you think right there. This is, so I want to make sure I know where you're pointing to. This is,
I'm on Highway 80, heading east, coming right into downtown Selma now. Coming up on what is this? Highway 14,
14.
just on the west side of Selma.
Yeah. So, so you'd be looking at our storm. I guess the
One southwest of Watauga.
yeah, yeah, and so the hail shaft that you see there shows up really well. There is right here in purple mainly due east of Selma. Um, if my orientation is right, there's quite a bit of lightning around there too. I don't know if you've seen that. Can you? Well, you're not watching us, but I think I got the storm. I think I got the hail shaft that is associated with what we see there on your camera. These have all been pretty active today. I think we've had a little bit more hail today than we saw yesterday in most of these storms. It is colder aloft, obviously, now beginning to get over here where you and I were talking about some of the wedge effect that we've had over the past few times. We had a little bit of a southwesterly sort of trajectory, a vector that was coming in on the east side of the mountains there. What's this new warning? It's a brand new warning. Well, they just pushed it on across the interstate, so the polygon is a little bit longer now. And I see what they're looking at. There's reason to believe that there might be some spin here, but it's not tight. It's not a gate-to-gate sort of a situation here at all. It's somewhat elongated. Let's see if I can. Let me try a different height. If we go up in tilts here, doesn't really change a whole lot. And put this back in motion again. So there it is, your possible tornado. What they're looking at shows up better, I guess, with the reflectivity here than anything else. There's your notch, if you will, going in. There's your hail shaft associated with that. Upper level wind is blowing in this direction, so it's where your storm motion is. And I don't see anything that looks like... there's not much in the way of a debris signature there. There's a little, I guess. I think that's going to be hail, actually. Let's see if I can raise Brett. Or if he went back to sleep.
Uh-oh, I believe somebody just had a crash right here in front of me.
Yep. Wow, that just happened.
Yep, it sure did. It was very low speed, though, so
Yeah.
thankfully I don't see anybody's injured. Barely even scratched the bumper of the other car.
Good. Brand new tornado watch just now coming out. It'll take them a minute to get that up, but that's going to include Georgia now. The tornado watch is going to push over into the state of Georgia a little bit on the western side, so might even include... I don't know where that's going to go. This will be interesting. Yeah, I wonder if it stays the same shape as the, if it has that little, if it's, how far north it goes. I'm sorry, I'm trying to do like 5 things here at one time. You got a good looking picture. Whatever it takes. keep an eye on Chris there as well. But severe tornado risk is expected to gradually expand across the eastern sections of Alabama and western Georgia. So the new weather watch is being considered. But that was, like you said, that was congruent to that. But now they've gone ahead and said, all right, there's going to be a new watch. And so it would probably be along this area here that they have drawn in, which goes all the way up into North Georgia to Chattanooga. It includes me here in Fort Payne, Alabama, to DeKalb County. You'd be in the tornado watch here as well, and it goes all the way down to the south, as you can see, kind of traveling along I-59, 65, down to the south, and then northward in an area that goes over toward Warner Robins, and then back up through the eastern side of the Blue Ridge, actually. So, first time Georgia will have been in a watch like this, I think, in a pretty good while. It's been a while since you've actually seen that in Georgia. The weather, and I know this because I've gotten complaints from people who think I drop off and don't cover the weather over into Georgia. And the fact is that it just doesn't. It kind of tends to weaken before it gets to you over there in Georgia, which is good news. I had family in East Alabama. When I was a chief in Birmingham, Alabama for all those years, my family in East Alabama would call and they go, why do you stop doing the weather for us over here? And it's because oftentimes the weather works out that way diurnally, where the weather toward the end of the day continues to move eastward and then gets over there into East Alabama during the nighttime, and it's a much weaker scenario then when that happens. Again, we're looking at Chris here. Chris is driving down the road not too far away from Selma, Alabama, where he's watching a couple of thunderstorms there off into the distance. One or two of them have had some similarities about them that are spinning and rotating. I showed you this area here. This is the new mezzo discussion, and they just issued a tornado watch. It'll take them a minute to draw it and get it out to all the third-party areas, but still, nonetheless, the risk is here at the time across central Alabama. Radar loop showing a cluster of small rotating updrafts still moving across the region. Ooh, that scared me to death. Alexa just said it's 12 o'clock, but it's 1. You're wrong. I don't know who that was. Where was I? Here we go. There's the watch. So yeah, it was kind of like that. The new watch goes over to Atlanta, into the mountains of northeastern Georgia, up to Yona Mountain and beyond near Dahlonega, and where they make those Cabbage Patch dolls. Also, now the warning that we were watching goes across I-65, actually ends up all the way over to the river, the Coosa River on the eastern side. So it's a brand new tornado warning that we'll look at. But right now the watch box actually doesn't include DeKalb County. It doesn't include Jackson County, Alabama. Both counties left out of both these areas, but it does include Etowah County and Gadsden, Etowah, Randolph, Cherokee, down to Calhoun, and then in Talladega County here is what we're looking at as well, with some of the heavier showers and thunderstorms about to pull into that region. Meanwhile, down to the south, into the meat of everything, here's where the spin is all located at the moment. Everything that is rotating seems to be in between the two watch boxes, but this one right now near Calera, Alabama, has a tornado warning attached to it for the next 30 minutes. Bibb Chilton County underneath the tornado warning from the Talladega National Forest to Centerville, Brent. Moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. Take cover immediately here because this is a storm that has the ability to happen fast. Here's your Chilton County. Brand new tornado warning for Chilton County. This is going to go until 2 p.m. from 1 to 2, so it has an hour in length. From Maplesville back over to Jemison, moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. A tornado is likely coming up out of Maplesville and moving northeastward into this polygon, which is down to the south. All indications are a possible tornado right there into this region. And again, I see what they're talking about. It's just not a very tightly packed situation here. There's spin, there's some rotation here, but
Siri is turned off on your phone.
I don't see what is, where did that come from? I got people talking to me. I got stuff open, so series, and some other people are talking to me. Anyway, that's the other tornado warning. Now, if you look down here to the south, this is getting close. This is the storm near Toggerville. And Chris, are you headed toward that at all?
I actually let that one go there just because I knew, for a couple of years, network launch.
I believe he was abducted by aliens. That sounds weird. Anyway, there's your tornado warning. Back over to Jemison, the one that we were talking about there just a little bit earlier. That's the tornado warning storm there. It's just off to the north. We also have an area of rotation, though, that is a little bit concerning. This is the thing that we were looking at here through the day today that came out of the south, that's now moving on to the east a little bit more, looking at the radar. Pretty big spin going on down here near Otaugaville. It's not exactly, real tight in this area, gate-to-gate wise, but there's a strong rotation associated with this, an inbound and an outbound that does show up just to the north of Otaugaville, in between there and Billingsley, and not too far away from Prattville, Alabama, and all headed on to the northeast. And the zone, if you will, the hotbed zone, is in between the two watch boxes here at the moment, not in either. But I think the zone for what's going on is kind of like if I draw my own watch box in this little pyramid area. Seems like where everything is spinning at the moment. So there's anticipation, I guess, if you will. Upstream, they went ahead and issued this new tornado watch box upstream because of what is to come. And it goes for 7 hours now, basically, and includes all of that western section of Georgia. This is going to run all the way up to 9 p.m. tonight, so it does have quite a bit of length of time to go with it. Primary threats, a few tornadoes are likely, winds up to 70 miles per hour, and large hail in an inch in diameter are also possible here with wind gusts and a few tornadoes there through the primetime hours. And so that's kind of what we're looking at here at the moment with everything. As you sort of put it all together into a summary, that's what I would believe is going to be the case. Now, we do have some of the heavier rain coming into the downtown area now into Birmingham from the west over to Hoover, northward of Highway 31, getting back over into Birmingham, Homewood area, or just down to the south into Pelham. This is a general rainfall, but it's a heavy rainfall, as it is beginning to pour there into central Jefferson County, and then the line that goes northward all the way back over here to Huntsville into this region just to the west of Sand Mountain, if you will, from Hollywood, Scottsboro, back down to Grant and Arab, Alabama, Gunnersville, getting some heavy rain over there near the lake into Holly Pond and to Good Hope. And just now beginning to see some of the heaviest of rain showing up south of all of those areas. High top radar up here near Skyline showing you the line. It's a big honking line that's coming on southeastward, and this thing's going to make its way further to the south as we go through the rest of this evening. But coming into the eastern side now of Jackson County, not too far away from DeKalb County, and should be here within the next hour or two, coming into DeKalb County on the western side. That's where we stand at the moment with what we see. The other watch is well down to the south, and there's actually a misplaced severe thunderstorm warning down here at POE. That's going to be a severe thunderstorm warning. Actually, check this thing out, Dean. This is a cool-looking storm. This is a couple of things you can see about this is, one, it wants to be a tornado so bad it can't stand it. But the other part of this is a very mature storm. Now, what's happening here is the southwesterlies have come in and grabbed this thing aloft and are taking it to the northeast. So two things that I see. One is that there's a spin right there, and we'll look and see if the data backs that up as far as whether or not there's a rotating part of that storm that is enough actually to be producing a tornado. Within the storm, there is also a hail shaft, a core right there that shows up. That's where the air is rising pretty rapidly, and that's where you've got ice that's showing up as a strong frequency back to the radar site. The RT unit, it's a radio transmitter and a receiver coming back. So it transmits, hits that ice, comes back, and makes it think that it's a very large raindrop actually at this point. But the other part you see about this is now what's happening is the southwesterly coming into the storm here. The structure of this is that the southwesterlies coming in have to go around the hail shaft. So the wind goes around it on both sides because you can't go through it. You got to go around it. Well, what that does is creates low pressure on both sides. you create small little low pressure bubbles there. And on the far side of this, you get what we call a V-notch, or this is where I always took off with. These are bunny ears. It's a flying eagle. It's rabbit ears. It's whatever you want to call it. But that's what you see. If you just had this, you'd know that's a very mature storm down there, well down to the south. It is a loner. And is it spinning? Little, not a lot. Yes. It's kind of right in between the two. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Chris is back up. Let me get back to his. All right, we're coming up now at 10 minutes after 1 o'clock. We have quite a few. Well, we had Chris, and then we just lost Chris. But right now, 10 minutes after 1 is what we've got. We got several scattered areas of precipitation that we're still following very closely. We do have a tornado watch box that was just now issued that goes over into the state of Georgia, into the northern mountains of Georgia, and back to the west. And we still have some precipitation down to the south here. We have a new... let me see if I can show you a tornado SR. This is a storm report. Tornado up and down on the river headed towards the east. No damage at the time. The wind gust of 47 on something. This is from the spotter network again out of Huntsville. And the time on this is 10:47 this morning. So there is the possibility of a tornado there on the river just to the east of Florence, Alabama, earlier this morning from the storms as they woke up and moved off to the northeast there. The rest of this that we still have these reports that we saw earlier in Bibb County. These are going to be SR damage, or storm report damage. Tin roof that was physically damaged there, and also we did have some trees that were downed here in there, cedar trees across the road. Reports into Marengo County on 54 coming in early this morning as well. The lone tornado warning that we have right now near Clanton, this is going to be Thorsby, Jemison, and Clanton. A tornado warning still around for the next 49 minutes. This is going to be a tornado orange storm located near Maplesville, 11 miles to the southwest of Jemison, moving to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. We'll be crossing over the interstate here very shortly. In fact, why don't we look at the radar? And I can show that to you here at the moment. The radar has a steady area of precipitation, and now we do have another tornado. This thing down to the south. I think they're going to have to call this the thing we've been watching for a while. And I think Chris is. I asked him if he was on it, and Dean, we never really got an answer from him, or I didn't hear an answer from him. I turned the spotters on. I don't know where he is, but I think this is a tornado now, just north of Prattville. Is it? Okay. There's really no way around it. It's Deatsville. Now this is a wicked-looking storm, and it just goes to show you. I mean, I watched it a little bit earlier, and I thought I was going to ask Chris if he was on it, and he answered me, but we couldn't hear him. I know he was just south of there. He was over in Selma, but I didn't really hear his answer. We'll keep watching though to see what kind of video he has. He's in black right now at the moment. But see if he gets something here. Yeah, that just seems to be the case. No matter what the deal is, that ends up being the case. But that's a pretty wicked little storm right there at the moment. Correlation coefficient tied in with that, maybe. There's seemingly something going on there. It's not exactly clear cut, but when we get these, and there's a lot of hail involved, I get concerned about calling something debris that may actually just be hail, but that matches up pretty well with the actual velocity. And I think okay. Oh, so he's down here. Well, he's got a little spin right here in Benton. This is in between there and Whitehall. There's some spin. This is Genesis. This is I think, a storm that's beginning to sort of form here, if you will. Anytime you see that much lightning around just a few pixels, you know something's going on. There's energy being expended there, and then probably energy trying to find out what exactly it's going to do with itself. But here's your inbound and your outbound. The thing that looks more ominous than anything else. The storm to the north here, I don't exactly see a point to where I would go, that's the tornado. This is an elongated area. It looks like it's just blown out on the south side. This is now a rear flank looking sort of a thing happening there. To the north, we still have a lot of lightning. It's a busy day here into Hoover and Alabaster and up to Birmingham, where we still have some of the heavier rainfall coming down there too, and several severe thunderstorm warnings that are off into the northern portions of the region too that we've been watching for a while, and those will be a continuation as we move a little bit further too. They just updated the little polygon down here, and they said, all right, we are going to clean this up to the area Thorsby Lomax. Let me see. I believe we're back with Chris. Are we back with Chris? Let's see. Let me see, Chris. All right. Yeah, it kind of looked like it was coming together there. Just in that one scan. I was pretty interested to see what the next scan is going to look like, because the one scan there looked pretty hot. It looks pretty wicked. Hold on a sec. about to get loud at my house. All right, Chris, I got your video back up now. Some low flyers there.
Oh yeah, nice lightning bolt.
Little lightning.
Looks like got a little bit of RFD trying to cut in around the that little wall cloud also.
So we're looking at the little area there near Whitehall.
Yes,
you
sir.
have radar up?
Yep.
So we're looking at the little area there in Whitehall then. Yeah.
It wants to.
It wants to.
And also starting to notice what looks like a nice hail core off the backside of this storm as well. I don't know. It's just outside of my shot because I'm in pretty tight, but starting to definitely see a pronounced white shaft in the back of this precip core. Oh, here we go. Right there.
Pretty good tornado just north of you there.
Yeah, I see that up there, just northeast of Watauga. I didn't think I could catch that storm, and so I decided to say I was 80 south.
Yeah.
And just catch stuff as they come up from the south.
Right.
There's something going on. The contrast is really bad. There's something going on right in the middle. You can kind of start to see it a little bit now, maybe.
Tiny blurry.
Yeah.
A little bit blurry for us.
Let's see if I can help you out, any. It's getting a little ragged looking.
Yeah, that's a wicked little tornado north of you now. You got some stuff though down to the south of you. I don't know if I'd move, Chris.
Yeah, I'm not going to move too far if I go anywhere.
Yeah.
What I'm about to do is turn to the left right here and take a look at this next thing that's about to cross 80 right in front of me.
Yeah, that's what I say. You got more stuff. You got some spin down south of you, plenty of it.
Yeah, so now I'm just I'm westbound heading back toward Benton.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy. Let me see if I can get you a view of this. All right, then. Let's see here if I can get up on the other side of this hill. Hopefully, it's a good view.
Jarvis, are you with us?
All right, here you go, Dave. I got your view.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, that's not good.
Yep, that's
right.
that one looks pretty beefy. I think I probably need to just just a little bit more to the west.
All right, thank you, Jarvis. So right now, just to get you up to date on where we are with our warnings, we still have the tornado warnings there in effect for that eastern portion of Chilton County. That's the Jemison, Clanton area. I don't see anything that really looks ominously like it's producing a tornado at the moment that would be on the ground or anything. But if there is a tornado, it's probably likely going to be just to the west of Clanton there somewhere. Highway 31 that goes north-south through the region there coming out of Calera would be the most likely bet. We've got a line of severe thunderstorms that goes all the way from Gadsden, Ottawa County north, right up into Knoxville, Knox County, and then looks like just to the west of Stinking Creek, Tennessee. You got a little severe thunderstorm warning there also that's coming across the mountain there at Jellicoe, and then further down to the south. Back down to the south, we have the two tornado warnings that we still have. They are in effect now. The one in Thorsby, the second one down to the south here that Chris Jackson is not that far away from in Autauga County, Alabama. That's moving northeastward at 35 to 40 miles per hour just outside of Prattville, with a likely tornado showing up there. It's cycled a little bit. There may actually be 2 or 3 different funnels there. We've seen that interacting along the outflow boundary. This is the rear flank of the storm coming and moving out here. It's blowing out just a little bit, but I still think you got a tornado notched in right there in the center part of your polygon that's sort of pointing over towards Deatsville. Well, that's probably where it's going. And then Chris Jackson down here to the south, he's near Benton. Got a couple of spinning areas that are training it to his south and west. He's watching another one near Autauga there that is kind of wrapping up off into the distance. And you can see now, what are we looking at right there, Chris?
We're still on Highway 80, just to the west of Benton here. This next storm is starting to get better organized. As it's
So
almost
we're
on top
looking at
of me.
the storm down to the south of Benton on the radar right now.
Yeah, it's getting ready to cross Highway 80.
Okay. That's an ugly storm.
Yep.
Is that the little gust coming out at you right now?
Yep. Once I get some cars to move here, I'm going to slide out to the east just a little bit. Stay right here with it.
So he's up in this area here near Bentley, and he's watching these storms down to the south. There are a couple of storms that are rotating just beyond, like in 15-mile stretches or so. There are little rotations that are trying to get together here, and this has been sort of the generation area here, if you will, of what's been going on through the day today. They did just go ahead and reissue, they just reissued the pine level thing there. And did they extend it? I don't think they did anything. They just reset it. So pretty much where we are, Chris, the video that you see there, he's got dark skies down that he's looking at, but there's 2 little distinctive areas of rotation, pixel to pixel rotation, that's trying to regenerate down to his south. So we'll stay with him and watch that, as well as what looks to be it's not confirmed, I don't think, capable of producing severe thunder, capable of producing. Visibility's pretty high there in the on the Rain-X windshield.
Yeah, I'm about to beef back out here to the east, and this storm is literally training exactly where the one ahead of it went. I mean, within a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
So I should be able to sit up right here and just get a great view as it passes by.
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, there's kind of like 4 or 5 there that are going to train up and go right by you if you were, within 5 miles
Correct.
of where you are. That one down near Pineapples looking pretty wicked.
All right, let's see here. Oh yeah.
I'm going to walk over here and go to the little boy's room real quick. Dean, if you got something you'd like to talk. Ooh, what's that? It's a horse.
Wow.
Lightning. Pretty good lightning strike right in that
It
structure.
was.
I'll be right back.
Oh boy. Big rain. Nobody's coming behind me. Debris falling out of the sky. Some leaves. Nice and pretty. Well, how the work? How does this work? Okay, I see what's up now. It's a little weird.
Well, I can see nothing's really changed since I went to the bathroom and returned. I was hoping everything would be cleared up, sunny skies, and everybody could go home. Um, the We'll keep watching that, but a quick look at the radar again, just to sort of update you on where we are. We still have 2 tornado warnings there. Then the line that goes all the way up into eastern Kentucky at the moment, coming over the mountain there in Jellicoe and to the other side. This is way up here in the mountains of eastern Kentucky, where we still have special weather statements that go all the way up into Perry and Knox County there in particular. Then southward all the way down and along I-65, 75, then getting into Huntsville, Alabama, down to Gadsden, Anniston, and then we have our tornado watch boxes that are still prevalent here. We're about to see these storms cooperate and move over into the watch box to help out that whole scenario. We do have this tornado warning off to the north here. This goes for 24 more minutes. This is for Chilton County, the National Weather Service issuing that for the Gap of the Mountain near Clanton, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. The secondary storm down to the south here still includes Deatsville. This is going to be for 24 more minutes as well. For Watauga County, National Weather Service again says tornadoes possible there near Prattville or Booth and moving northeast at 30. Crossing over, nothing. It doesn't look like it did a few moments ago. But then down to the south here, we also have Chris, who is following Chris Jackson, following several storms for us. The couple here that we were watching very closely are just outside of Benton, down to the south. We have some reason to believe that these are both in their genesis, beginning stages, if you will, of wrapping up a little bit more. There's certainly going to be some churning going on here within the storm to where we have high winds. Even if we're not seeing these wrapping, then we're seeing a downburst here that has a pixelization of over 60 miles per hour, and a couple of those pixels denoted. There's some ugly conditions there, some scud flying around through this storm as it works its way across the central part of Alabama, not too far away from Lowndes and Selma, in between the two, actually, and Otagoville off to the north. But crazy-looking sky conditions here at the moment all across that region, and whether or not the integrity of these storms is, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a fifth one that we're looking at, and each one of them has supercellular characteristics. They're all singular, they're all off to themselves, and sort of producing their own environment here as they go upward. And Chris, anything unusual that you have seen at the moment? I see we have a little bit of pixelization in what we're getting from you. Does it look any different from your eyeball?
Just looking at the next storm that's to the south of U.S. Highway 80 here, I guess on the west side of Lowndes County. It looks like it got a nice wall cloud trying to be established with a little beaver tail over to the right here, coming off the forward flank of the storm. So I'm definitely sitting here and watching this and just seeing what it's doing as it's coming right toward me.
Yeah.
It's a nice lightning.
Let's see. So there's a storm south of Benton, and then there's another storm down near Oak Hill. You're looking at the one just south of Benton?
Yes, this is going to be the storm that's just due south of Benton.
Okay. All right. And then there's another little storm kind of along the same track that's coming in south of there that's pretty active. Well, they didn't ask permission to do that. you recording? That was a good one. That was pretty. I'm not. Well, I mean, I'm recording to the channel, but that was cool.
I'm going to have to pull that one off the card real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it helps to put the radar in there, so I might as well just take it out. Let's just watch the vid.
Holy smokes. A tower just got lit up. Cell tower did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see it. You probably heard the thunder. Let's see here. Back up just in here.
Folks, if you're just now joining us, we're watching a feed coming in, and this is live video that you see. That's a little beaver's tail. Chris, you want to tell us a little bit about what we're seeing for the viewer?
Yeah, I got
at
a beaver's
home?
tail right here with some really hard vertical motion now over this this stop sign. I'm just sitting there watching it. Definitely some, maybe trying to spin up a little brief tornado here. Wow. Yeah. So just sitting to the south of US 80, just to the east of Benton. Also, I got that one recorded as well.
Good.
Now this is interesting. Look right there. Let's get cut right around this little nub. Huh. Still getting a ton of vertical motion here. It's about to be on top of me.
Yep. I do. At Talladega Springs? Is it? Say that again. Okay. One sec. All right, let me get you up to date. We're still watching Chris here, and we'll follow him along for the remainder of what's happening here. Had tremendous lightning there showing up a few moments ago, and now he's sort of moving about the rest of the area there near Benton, Alabama. So we'll check in with him again. But right now, tornado warnings that we still have. Let me get you up to date on where they are at the moment. The ones that we know we have are still here sitting across central Alabama. The one that's just east of Jemison, Alabama, that's a tornado warning storm for the next 43 minutes south of Talladega Springs, the one that Jarvis was talking about minutes ago. In Coosa County, that is a tornado warned area there, northwestern Coosa County. A confirmed tornado now near Lay Lake, or about 8 miles to the south of Talladega Springs. It's moving northeast 35. A damaging confirmed tornado now, radar confirmed tornado, is being reported here just outside of there as it goes off to the north and to the east. Now let's take a look at a couple of things here because I want to see exactly where that is. A radar confirmed tornado, and it's going to be because of this right here. It'll be the correlation coefficient that sort of relates to and shows some of the debris there. Right about here is what it is looking at. So that's going to be to the east of Talladega Springs, north and west of Goodwater, where the National Weather Service office is. South of Sylacauga, not too far away from Brett Adair, and his home is where this is, and it's moving off to the northeast and doing so at about 35 to 40 miles per hour just outside of Talladega Springs. Radar again confirms what we're looking at, which is a strong severe thunderstorm now turned tornado warning. They're into the area and moving pretty quickly from the west and to the east just outside of Talladega Springs. Time on this 146, 147, so that's what we have at the moment as far as that storm goes. Velocity data there. There's your tornado. I mean, it just really stuck its head out more or less. This is outflow up here in Talladega Springs, but this is a tornado right there. The likelihood of a tornado coming down right here in this area. So this is the confirmation that we have. Let's see if it matches up with everything else. And another tornado warning just now coming in as well. But for the short term, there is your debris signature that we think. We have some debris up here, but this is all being blown off in that direction. Not really sure what all that is, but there is enough of a debris signature there for the National Weather Service to confirm our tornado based on that. We have a new tornado. Let's see, that's going to be that'll be an upgrade. All right, so this one is observed. Human observation, by the way, not just radar confirmation, but a human observation now on that storm. Down to the south of there, we have another tornado warning. This is in effect for the next 41 minutes. Deatsville, it's Elmore County, Alabama. Elmore County underneath the tornado warning at the moment with the storm coming in out of the southwest. A confirmed tornado now as well. Damaging tornado, quarter-size hail. Radar confirmed. From the National Weather Service again saying this is a radar-confirmed tornado near Jordan Lake and moving northeastward across the region. Again, rain-wrapped probably at this point, very difficult to see. This has the makings, and Chris, I don't know if you can hear me, but all three of these storms down there, maybe 4 or 5 now that we're looking at, that is a zone there that is, for some reason or another, that's the hot zone. So the storm that we were watching there with Chris, I don't know if it had a tornado in it, but it sure looked like it could have. And look at all of them lined up here. This thing looks, it's taking on the shape of being something massive, actually. You can see how it's kind of winding up here, more or less. And right there is your tornado pixel to pixel, gate to gate shear. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. That is going to be the tornado there as it wraps up and moves quickly in that direction off to the northeast. So that is what the National Weather Service says now is a confirmed tornado that is on the ground. Pea-sized hail being reported here now. It has an observation tag along with it as a tornado. That's going to be just on the east side of Lay Lake there in south of Stewartville, south and west of Stewartville, near Sylacauga down to the southern part of that. That is this storm that they're saying is observed just to the east of Lay Lake. So, two confirmed tornadoes here. Tornado warnings at the moment, two confirmations. And I don't see Brett. If one of y'all don't mind, and you can sort of poke at Brett and see where he is, and if he'd like to talk about this being within 5 miles of his home, he might want to pop on and just ask him if he wants to get on Ninja to talk about it. We could do that. At least try it. Still have Chris. Chris, you on the line there as well?
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
Still watching your feed as Chris travels down the road. We've got, I don't guess you're in Benton anymore. I just put a tag up there that you were in Benton when you were sitting still.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just outside of it.
Yeah. So, still watching, Chris. What are you about to do?
I'm actually just checking out the storm over my shoulder here. I finally got a spot I can turn around. You can stop in the median here, but starting to get some interesting looks to it. Let's see here. Not so much that leading edge, but let me see here.
Ooh, yeah.
Let me see, turn the car just a little bit more. But right back in there.
Yeah, that's hail.
Just been watching over my shoulder here. I'm also looking at the next storm that's coming up this way also. It's going to come.
You're in a spot. You're in a really good spot there to be.
Just catching them one after another.
Path, yeah. You got a great signal. Beautiful picture. Beautiful picture. So, all right. What we feared seems to be materializing now. A little bit of sunshine, a little bit of daylight here, it looks like, too. Probably aiding and abetting some of this instability as it comes on in. The dew points are really high. It's sticky there. I know we got 70-degree dew points just south of you there, Chris. So it's really sort of ramping up on the instability. The Cape deal is coming to fruition there, moreover. And the cloud deck is, as you can see off into the distance, it's low, it's ugly, it's that color that we don't like to see. And there's, I don't know if you've seen, Chris, I know you're watching your own storms, but we got two honking tornadoes, I think, ongoing now. One south of Talladega Springs, another one near Deatsville.
Yeah, I was just checking those out on the radar here. Yeah, I still got that nice debris sig on the one, this other one just north of Wetumpka.
Yeah. There are about 3 or 4 possible. Or wannabes.
Let's see here. I'm going to ease up the road just a little bit more.
Yep. Yes, sir.
I see Fox has got me taken off right now.
All right. Trying to head south, so he was north?
What's that?
You say he was trying to head south, so he was up north somewhere?
I don't know what you heard. I was talking about. I said Fox picked my stream up.
Oh, we were. I'm sorry. We were
Okay,
talking
gotcha.
about Brett. I don't guess
I'm
you can
with
hear
you.
the other guys.
No, I cannot.
Okay. Yeah, if I start talking to somebody else, it's Dean or Jarvis.
Now this next storm coming here, it looks awfully interesting as well.
Do you have radar up?
I do.
So when you say next storm, are you talking about the one down near Whitehall or the one between Otagoville and Prattville?
The one just southwest of Haynesville in Lowndes County.
So the last one, really?
Yeah.
All right. Down below Gordonville.
Correct.
All right, I'm going to key in on that on the radar that's on the screen with you now.
I'm just kind of getting in position where it's going to come right at me here on this nice 4-lane highway with a great view everywhere.
All right, we'll get back to you in just a moment. Chris, I'm going to go back and talk about these two tornado warnings that we have there here at the moment. They are two distinctive tornado warnings. One just south of Talladega Springs that we're looking at. That's going to be in that little triangle box that you see there. 33 more minutes on this tornado warning. Currently in effect for Coosa County. That's Talladega Springs moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Damaging tornado. Radar confirmed. And actually being sighted now. A couple of people have seen that tornado when it was on the ground. A very ugly situation there nonetheless. Even if you're not talking about a tornado, we got some high winds coming out of Childersburg, Bon Air, back over to Sylacauga. This is going to be right there on 280, Highway 280, coming out of that region near Talladega Springs. A couple of thunderstorms there, too, that we were looking at that are going to be quite strong as well as they move across the region. Then our second storm, they just issued another little update on it, still saying this is an observed tornado in Elmore County. Observed. The National Weather Service says somebody is watching this over Weaka Mills there just outside of Wetumpka and moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. Damaging tornado. Radar confirmed. Damaging tornado moving to the northeast at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. Velocity data has this as a large spinning, rotating storm. Hard to say the whole of that is a tornado. I don't see what I did a little bit earlier, which was a small pixel to pixel sort of a situation right there where I knew that's exactly where our tornado was. It's broadened out just a little bit, and the likelihood of seeing these things cycle through from time to time is certainly going to be there today. We're going to have cycling that'll take place, and I think right now we may have cycled out of this tornado for a moment. Hopefully that would be the case and last a little while longer. But moving over here at Eclectic in the next 15 minutes or so, if you're talking about what's upstream, Eclectic would be there, then into the southernmost portions, if you will, of Tallapoosa County. That's just outside of Dadeville and the Jackson Gap area. So watching out for both of those. Elmore, we got a little thunderstorm down here that's trying to move. Here's some inbound, outbound near Prattville, Alabama that we're looking at. And again, we're still watching Chris Jackson. Chris is riding along here on the roadway just outside of Otagoville, south of there near Haneyville, Alabama, and Moses, watching this storm down to the south. Newly rotating storm that's shown up here over the past few minutes. Got some lightning with it, and looks, as you can see on live television, pretty ominous. Looks like something's going on there off into the distance. And we do know that we've had quite a bit of cloud-to-ground lightning associated with that, some higher winds from time to time, and it's right there in that chute, if you will, where it's been pretty active and looks like it may, sort of maintain that at least through the next little while. We got a couple of storm reports here. All of them have been pretty much on the minor side here. A tin roof that was torn. We got a couple of things going on here near Demopolis where we had a few reports of trees down, cedar trees that were down to the north. We did have a tornado report there a little bit earlier. It's now considered a damage report, tree damage. Near County Road, one of the county roads there, 3 to 4 inch limbs that were snapped there across that region. The linear part of this goes northward all the way back up through Chattanooga, Tennessee, into Hamilton County, over to Athens, looking at being on the western side, if you will, of the Great Smoky Mountains, all the way up into Knox County and Clinton, where we still have some of those heavier thunderstorms trying to make their way over Mont Eagle and beyond. And a little bit of damage being reported. It's going to be flood damage up there in Nashville, Tennessee. Some small ditches overflowing on the road with unknown amounts of rain there near Stop 30 Road. And that's reported from the Spotter Network area there too. So lots going on here at the moment. Here's the other part now. Here's what's happening too. We've seen some of this that was down here to the south of Talladega Springs where we had that tornado. Well, now that energy is being transferred. Look what's happening just north of there. Now we're about to have, it looks like tornado genesis take place near Oak Grove and Sylacauga. This is coming in from the west, and we've got a tight little spin that's starting to show up there. I don't know if we've gotten rid of this one, and now we're going to reproduce it up here a little bit further to the north, up into Talladega County, but kind of looks that way, at least at the moment. So we'll see what's happening there with the storm near Sylacauga. Secondary area down to the south has broadened out. I don't think that's going to be an actual tornado at the moment, just north and east of Deatsville. It's backed away. It's more of an outflow boundary. We got our stuff going on near Loudon's Borough here in Haneyville. And then Chris and our video that we've been watching for a while is coming in for this storm. Just outside of Moses and Gordonville that he was watching moving on to the east. We're doing that as well, watching some of the bigger parts of this, if you will, that we were looking at a little bit earlier, headed on northeastward and still rotating. So, for the time being, what's the moral of this story? Well, the moral is that you don't have to be in a watch box in order to produce a tornado. We've talked about this time and time again. Almost 90% of these warnings today have come outside of the watch box. Now, they might move into the watch box here shortly, should we continue our motion, but for the moment, not inside of our watch box. So let's see what's happening here. This is really interesting about what's going to happen here just outside of Sylacauga in just a moment, and I can't wait to see the next scan. Did we have a correlation coefficient? I really didn't see anything with that. Looked a little odd there for a time or two. We're obviously going to have some hail here. This is vertically integrated liquid, the VIL, if you will, which is telling us that once again we have hail. It's not very large in the VIL product. A little bit larger down to the bottom part. This is some 70 and 80 kilograms per meter squared kind of stuff here that tells us, 60 or so is probably our VIL of the moment, where we have hail that might be large enough to produce a severe thunderstorm warning or something of the like. So, of all the products, that's where we are at the moment. Very heavy rainfall here too. We just need to keep talking about the fact that we may have some localized flash flooding that would occur within moments because of how heavy this rain is going to be. It's going to continue to come down at ½ inch to an inch per hour from time to time rates that'll be taking place for the rest of this afternoon and this evening too. So still looking out for that as we move along. And the two warnings that we presently have are tornado warnings showing up right here over to the western side, if you will, of both of these counties here for the next 26 minutes. It's Elmore County, and now they've reissued a new tornado warning. This is going to be well, they went severe. I thought that was going to be a tornado warning, but they went severe thunderstorm warning for Sylacauga. So now to Talladega County, that is a severe thunderstorm warning with a severe thunderstorm over, basically over Sylacauga, and 60-mile-per-hour winds are possible with that coming through. Deatsville over to Rockford. Still some heavy stuff there too that's popped up over to Elmore into the Millbrook region. I don't know what happened to Chris. Did Chris just flutter away? Did he go quietly? Okay. All right. right, it's got pretty busy here in a short amount of time. Where we were during the early part of the day today was wondering where it was going to be, where that trajectory was going to be, where it was going to actually pop up and be at its worst. Hold on one moment here, and we'll take a look at some other stuff as well. Some of the storms. Well, I'll tell you what I can do. I can do this and add you in as a display, and it would not be that one. It would be fit screen. Kind of watching the satellite here too, the satellite imagery, which shows some of the breaks there across Mississippi. We've had breaks in between the cloud deck across Mississippi, so we're not sure that all the precipitation is going to be over with. Thunderstorms, as we saw them, may still pop up. Look down to the into southern Alabama here at the moment. If you look down through the region here, you can see there are breaks there. There's actual breaks showing up of sunshine from time to time, and that makes this whole mess volatile. And just notice the way the cloud deck is growing. You can even see growth here because we do have, in fact, a lot of this we have that is bubbling, if you will. But look at all the breaks showing up in the middle here in South Alabama there. Cloud breaks that are showing up. You can also see the flow coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico in striations. This was cool because last week, 8 days ago, it was going in the other direction. We were watching the cold air move out over the warm Gulf of Mexico, and it was causing this cloud deck to take place. But now it's just the opposite as we've got moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, and then we got a really thick deck of clouds across central and north Alabama at the moment. There is some depth to the clouds. You can see that. You can see shadows on the eastern side of the tallest thunderstorms as they pop up, and can probably show you a little bit of lightning data with this as well. Lightning data in the satellite imagery. There's what was going by. Chris is going to have an incredible picture to show. He'll probably make that into a picture, the lightning strike that was in front of his screen there a few moments ago. It'll be a great photograph. So we do have, plenty still going on there in the satellite data. And it goes pretty far back to the west. Just that one lone thunderstorm we were watching well back into Louisiana. And it's still there as a small thunderstorm. Been somewhat of an odd day today. We actually started out with, we've had tornado warnings all through the night last night and into the early part of the day today, but now we've had these tornado warnings that just popped up within like a 50-mile zone of each other. They really weren't that far apart. They were sort of lying in wait, if you will, and popping up all into the same area. We have some of that still going on down here near Prattville, where we have some inbound and outbound associated with that. And this is all moving northward out of Prattville, the rest of the area here. Or you go back up here into what looks to still be our tornado. Now, this thing is not done. And let me show you. Let me put this into motion here to show you what I'm talking about. Watch this thing wrap. There was a tornado embedded. See it right here? This was a tornado that was embedded within the line, behind the actual rain line. Embedded within. And then, now that it's moved on to the east, here's a new tornado beginning to form right here. And these can be wicked. This could be this could be what what they were talking about, one or two large tornadoes. This could be one of those one or two large tornadoes, because this is a massive supercell. And right there in the middle, you have veering and enough to kick off a tornado right there into the area. Now back to the north, that's a severe thunderstorm warning over Sylacauga at the moment, so that's just going to be some higher wind and heavy rain. Down to the south here, it's a little bit different. Now we still have some other thunderstorms. We're watching this one over near Dalton here at the moment, which is going to have Dalton, Georgia. That's Whitfield County. That is about to have a tornado tag with it. So if I get rid of this, and I do that, and I do that and that, there's a tornado somewhere over here near Dalton. I don't see it. I don't know. Maybe near Tunnel Hill. I think they're going to say that Varnell's off to the north there, then Ringgold, Tunnel Hill, Dalton. And I'm not really sure, but this is supposedly a tornado near Dalton. He said. I know it's a severe thunderstorm warning. That goes for the next 18 minutes. Catoosa, Chattooga, Gordon, Murray, Walker, and Whitfield County. Catoosa, I blew it the second time around. Catoosa, Chattooga, Gordon, Murray, Walker, and Whitfield counties. Whitfield County, you're in a tornado warning, but the rest of the area, see, they did issue that, and I don't know why. Not because of that, I can't believe, but for 32 minutes, there's a tornado warning for Murray and Whitfield counties. National Weather Service officer says that's going to be a radar-indicated rotation southeast at 30 miles per hour is our movement just outside of Dalton. Tornadoes and extensive straight-line wind damage. I just don't know why they picked out that one small area there. But that is a tornado warning storm now just to the southeast of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And working its way across the rest of the region is a line, if you will, of thunderstorms that have popped up here and there. The other tornado warning that we still have is well down to the south here. We'll be watching this one coming in out of a storm near Eclectic. This is from the Weather Service office again out of Birmingham. Actually, let's go to KMXX and see what it looks like over here. We got two radar. You talk about feeling guilty about the abundance of radars. We have them right here. There is an overabundance of radars between Birmingham and MXX. I think this is a big tornado. I think this, if it's not, it's about to be. Correlation coefficient. Not a there. Ugly signature on the radar anyway. And it just looks like it wants to so badly. And if it does, look how big it's going to be. I don't know if that's on the ground or not, but it's already a tornado. Pretty sure about that as it pushes on to the east. Where would it be going? Well, it'd move into the southern part of Tallapoosa County, but Jackson's Gap, Dadeville, crossing over Highway 280 is the direction that it's moving in, and headed over in that general direction to the northeast. This one up near Sylacauga is now severe thunderstorm warning without a tornado tag to it. So we got the one tornado warning here, second one off to the north near Dalton, Georgia. It's a rarity. Don't often have tornado warnings up in this part of the woods, but it does happen from time to time. So certainly going to be watching out for that, and keeping our eyes on what's going on with all of this up in this area. But this is all headed eastward across North Georgia into the mountains of North Georgia and beyond. Beyond that, or west of that, is very little. We can find some more showers and thunderstorms developing back to the west here around POE, and we'll look at the reflectivity on that. And you can see what we're talking about here is coming up from the south, moving northward. Those are just after the front sort of a situation there, and it doesn't look like any of that's going to get carried away. LIX is the radar out of Slida, Louisiana, which has a few thunderstorms there too. The MOB radar has a severe thunderstorm area down to the south here. There's got some heavy rain popping out of the southwestern side of Clark County, it looks like. And then go a little bit further to the north, and you run into the stuff that we've got here at the moment that we continue to follow, which is a tornado warning down to the south. And you look at it on several different radars that we have. We can actually kind of look at it. It's an abundance of riches. But you're looking at it here at the moment from MXX. You look at it from BMX, it's the same sort of story. BMX doesn't have it as tightly packed and has 4 different waves here. If you look at BMX, I mean, there's one there, one here, one here, and one here. So you got 4 different entities here that we're looking at this thing kind of piled up along the whole region here. This Silicaca thing looks to weaken pretty quickly here, and then a Dalton tornado warning well up to the north for the next 30 minutes. It's Whitfield County and Murray County up into Georgia, where the Weather Service says, hey, there might be a tornado warning here. Who's got that? That's going to be Peachtree City. Pretty much what you see is what you get. And still got Chris traveling down the road. Let's see here, Chris. All right, I got your feedback up here, Chris. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Raining pretty hard.
Yeah, just north of what is that? Haynesville. Yeah, Haynesville. Check out this little southern end storm. It's just got a lot of rain in it.
Yeah.
Noticing this big storm that's trying to get itself together just to the southeast of Montgomery. I think that's going to be the next play. Get back out through Montgomery and head up toward Auburn on 85 and just see what this next one does.
Gotcha. Hey, Chris. Jarvis. All right. Jarvis, you with me? Because I get lonely if I'm by myself. You just posted what? All right. All right. Any fuel alerts? Did we decide to play those straight off of the out of Discord? The one from Tyler? Alright. Let's see. Hold on. Do you know anything about this, Jarvis, other than what I just kind of read? I mean, is there? Do you want to talk to it, or here it is? Um, I'm seeing all the Christmas video. It kind of makes me wonder. All the Christmas videos kind of go to. It's really difficult to say, but I do remember when the tornado. I do remember it looking like a tornado was going over there about that time back. Let's just get through playing. We'll just back the radar up and look at the time period before. Hold on. Alright, Tyler Anderson, thank you so much for letting us use that video. Is there anything else on there? Yeah. Okay. Alright. Yeah. A little bit bigger here. Velocity data again. It's got that little knob. It's got just a little bitty knob on the back of it. That's out of the MXX radar. Let's see what Birmingham says. They look a little bit different. Each of those radials is going to be different. Side shot, side lobe's going to be different. I know, isn't that? I mean, they don't mind putting a bunch of counties out at the same time, do they? That's it. MRX says, let's just get them all. I don't know why they issued that tornado warning in Dalton. I couldn't find anything at all that out of that line that made it specific. I guess, we haven't been in it in a long time, So can we make sure that our button works? I used to run a crawl for that reason. If we'd gone months and months without running a crawl, I used to just trigger one. I'd say Happy Tuesday to you. I'd write stupid stuff in it. Say Happy Tuesday to you from the Channel 6 weather offices. Hope you're having a good day. This is only a test. I was talking yesterday about throwing it back to programming. One of my other big things was, as a kid, I always wanted to say, we take you back to your regular scheduled program. When I practiced as a kid, when I was 9, I used to do the weather at home in front of the oven for my parents. There was a woman who did the weather in Birmingham, Alabama. Her name was Pat Gray, and first of all, she was just a stunning, hot woman. She was so beautiful. And when I was 9, I wrote her and I told her someday I would marry her and I would one day have her job. It's a true story, totally true story, because I loved her so much and I watched her every night on Channel 6 News. And she invited me to come there to the station when I was about 11 or 12, and I went, got my picture made with her and Bill Bolin and some of the other great people that were there, Tom York, and my love for TV happened at about that time, and my love for her just grew and grew and grew because she was stunning. We remained friends all that time, and then when I got the job in Birmingham, she was one of the first people who wrote me to congratulate me and support me there when I came in. The way it all worked out for me was I was supposed to work with someone who then quit the night before we were supposed to work together and didn't show up again. So she wrote me in support. The day that I came in, I had 41 tornado warnings that day. Now, I worked in Chattanooga, Tennessee for 11 years, and I probably, throughout the total time I worked in Chattanooga, I may have had 10 events total that had no confirmations whatsoever. So I come in there and, I'm doing my thing and 41 tornadoes. I started at so I did the 11 o'clock news in Chattanooga, Tennessee on the Sunday night. I got to Birmingham. I drove all night because it was a slight risk or something. Might have been more than that, but whatever the case. 6 o'clock, we had our first tornado warning in Tuscaloosa, and the news director, who I had barely met me at the door. God, my cat stuck to my. The news director met me at the door, and she said, she had a mic. She said, "Can you go on?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And I go on, and I'm on the air that whole day, and I'm on the air till 2 a.m. Tuesday morning by myself. September the 16th, 1996, by myself. And it was and it wasn't. I mean, I grew up in Alabama and in Birmingham, so I knew Alabama. That was the saving grace, was I did know everything about Alabama. But yeah, I did just a super duper long day, and Pat Gray was one of the people who called me afterwards, and she was so sweet about it, and let me. She let me cry. I cried. I mean, I cried. I was like, what the heck have I done? Because in Chattanooga, where I worked, it was pretty much you do your time. You go in and you're back out again. But anyway, yeah, that's the way it's all kind of, I'll kind of change now is, stop. I think my chicken is loose downstairs. If I had to guess. Because all my cats ran up here, so I think they're telling on her. That's what it seems like. Either they're trying to get away, yeah. They have some epic fights. Well, I don't know what the point of that story was, but it was a true story. It's part of my book. Well, I did 18. Go back and watch here. A couple of weeks back, I did 18 here by myself. I did 18 on LSM by myself. Were you? Yeah. Yeah, that one was kind of tough because I sat on my butt the whole time. At least, I couldn't walk after the fact there, but yeah, I can talk. It's all the other stuff I can't do. It's the computer work that's I'm struggling with right now. Who said look at somebody said in my ear look at the. What'd you say? Hot now? Is that your strike? Hold on, let me show it to everybody. I knew that's what you were going to do with it. If you weren't watching, this was a lightning strike near Benton, Alabama that Chris Jackson took while he was sitting there watching. He and I were watching it together, watching a storm come up and this lightning strike. There's a tower next to it, isn't there? Yeah, I see the tower. How crazy. I just zoomed into it. It's like on fire. I'd love to go up and find it now. You know, you could find exactly where it is. Yeah. Yeah, you can see. Oh, Chris, what crazy photos. You got one tree on fire. This is amazing. You got one stroke that's got a tree on fire. It's a wonder that thing's not on fire. That's nuts. He is. Oh, you can't hear him, can you? I'm sorry, he can't hear you either, so I've assumed a lot here. Let's see. But Jarvis can't hear you. What do I do about that? Those are stunning. I'm not going to send them to anybody, but I'm going to send it to Brett. Oh, you sent it to Brett. He just saw it, I guess. Yeah. Cool. I knew it was like, I mean, I knew it was going to be awesome. We both reacted the same way. And the funny thing about it was poor Dean was sitting there talking about evacuations or something, and he didn't know what we were talking about. We just both went, wow! And I think he thought we were making fun of him. It was crazy. So now we've got what was probably waterspout turned tornado warning. Let's see, Chris, I've lost your video. Let's see, here we go. Chris.
Woo! God almighty! Damn! What? Sorry. Lightning just hit a freaking tree right beside me.
Whoa.
Woo! All right, I'm alive. I'm alive now.
Okay. I heard, did you? I heard an alarm go
man.
off.
It probably was lightning interference in the microphone.
I heard like a keyboard chime. But I had looked down.
Woo!
What kind of mic are you using, Chris?
I'm using a Rode. It's I can't remember the Rode NTG shotgun mic.
Oh, well, I don't hear anything outside of your car.
Nice, that's good because
Yeah, it's
it's
just
raining
your
so
audio.
hard right now.
I don't hear rain at all.
Try to core punch through this storm here real quick.
Right there is the first time I heard anything coming from your vehicle.
Let me get some hail here in 1 second. Yep, starting to get some hail now, David.
Hear it. Sounds a little big.
Oh yeah.
You got white knuckles?
Another big lightning strike. I think it was just off to the right side of the camera.
There's another tornado up again east of Birmingham now that they're not calling yet.
I'm interested to see what this storm right here does once it gets north of Montgomery. Because like we've been talking about all day, it seems like once they get north of the Alabama River, they start trying to tornado.
Are you on 82 yet?
I'm on 85. I'm on
85, I mean, I'm
interstate.
sorry.
Yeah.
So you're, is the storm behind you?
Yeah, I just went through the hail
Okay.
core. I'm out in
You
front
just
of it
went,
now.
okay. Okay.
I should be in the inflow region, honestly.
So you're gonna keep. You catch the next one about Tuskegee.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna see what this one does here for the next few minutes, and then just scoot on up the road. I see a tornado warning down south in the Florida Panhandle as well.
Yeah, that was a spout. I watched it come ashore a while ago.
I just went through the oh my word, every different level of the volume scan out of MXX, and look at the freaking roped off buoy. That thing's got it about let's see here, where you at? About 2.5 degree tilt. All right, then.
Now you got a good camera shot there.
Nope. God. Oh. Oh.
Are they following you?
Oh. When it's daylight and it lights the entire inside of the car up like a I don't know, like a cop with blue lights. Yeah. I'm trying to get a little bit ahead of this thing, just a little bit.
Do you have a change of underwear with you?
Yeah, actually I do.
I thought you might from yesterday.
Yeah, I usually usually carry a couple pair with me. I get right up here and get turned around once I get on the outskirts of like Montgomery here. What is this? Highway 80, where it crosses back over. That's probably where I'm gonna hop off and see if I can grab a look. All right. Turns it's been a lot more easterly than it has been.
I heard that, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. A possible tag to the storm. God, how much farther to Highway 80? Let's see here. Oh, it should be right up in front of me. Wait a minute, was that it? Oh, don't tell me that was it. Okay, it's right up here.
Do-do-do.
Alrighty. Oh man, what a view!
Beautiful view.
Yeah, off my right shoulder where you can't see, I'm gonna go down here and turn around and come back up the other way. That way, I'm facing the right way on that bridge. Let's see here. Oh my word. This thing is gorgeous. I'm
Yep.
about to have you a great view. Right about now. I need to pull up just a hair more. There you go.
Mhm.
Oh, hold on one second, dude. Let's see here. All right, I'm back.
Cool.
I just put the drone up, getting some great shots of it.
You did?
Yeah, I got the drone up right now.
Man, that's fast. Jarvis, is Brett still blowing you off? What is so he sent us a new link yesterday that worked. Do you remember where he sent it though? I can't find it. I remember he sent it and I tried it and it worked. There it is. I found it. It's all white and blown out. I don't understand why he's doing that and not trying to contact us. Are we now playing competing? What are we doing? Yeah, yeah. Chris, can you replace RTMP with HTTP? So Brandon, I'm gonna take. I'm just gonna try to get his stream off of CDN. See what happens with it there, cause he's using it. Yeah, absolutely.
It's 3:00.
It's 3 o'clock on Saturday. Let's see here. Where did you put it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Save that. Now put it over here. Put it into. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, you want to take a break? Hey, uh, do we do we mess you up in any way if we take a break right here, Chris? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna finish up a couple of graphics here. Try to get in touch with Brett and see. I'd love to have the two of your cameras on at the same time. See what the hell that look like. So let me see what I can come up with. Be safe, okay? All right, and I'll get back with you, Jarvis. We'll talk here in a little bit.